enough numbers to carry the entire team forward.
Yeah, I'm really just looking for either one of these teams, if I'm being honest, a little bit more so on Team Secret's side, to do something to break the mold. To do something that catches Gen G by surprise. It almost worked out with that one play up by Arcade, up by Bench, but when it comes down to it, that was still just a firefight. A position that was easily pinned down by King and friends.
Yeah, I mean, again, I like that you called out that round because you could see the idea that, you know, Secret understands that they needed to do something different.
Yes.
So they set up a trap play instead of pushing out to try to win the trades, but it's not clean enough to the point where Jeremy can get out safely. So then they actually just have to keep committing more backup to try to get Jeremy. I mean, it turns into saving Private Jeremy out there on Arcade, and eventually it doesn't quite complete the mission.
Definitely not. Where is our captain in all of this? Where has Jesse Bash been?
He's racking his brain, so is Coach Warbirds, of course. I mean, they've shown so much promise, this squad. They've shown so much potential on what can be done when you start to clean up the fundamentals, but keep the wild firepower, right? And whether it's even some of the veterans like Dubstep, Borkham, even Jesse Bash. But then you have these youngsters like Envy and Jeremy rounding out the squad. They've shown what they're capable of. Now they're up against a Gen G who learned their lesson against DFM last week. They lost this fracture map, and now they've cleaned it up.
See that they're trying to go lesser with microaggressions. Off the timeout from Bile, they're just sussing out information. This time playing so safe. 2 controllers stacked up on the A site, Will.
Yeah, and the paranoia was used to buy time, and then the toxic screen actually to make sure they can simply hold on to the site. Just give up sands if needed. Let's just hold on to the site and force a rotate out of Team Secret. Meanwhile, TS is even sussing out the potential for this lurk. It's a Cypher on the other team. You have to suspect this.
Well, continues to move forward, but close range. The Frenzy will be able to strike down Dubstep first.
There's more members. Now the Haunt will spot them, so it's no surprise for Team Secret, but they have to push now. This is their one window.
I don't know if it's going to work, though. The right click still able to connect. Now Borkham going in from the smokes itself. 1-on-2. He does have a Frenzy, but look at all these positions being covered up by Gen G's players. Just a little sliver. And Meteor doesn't expose himself all that much. A headshot to seal the deal.
Okay,
Gen G takes the pistol.
78 grenades
Gen G
left.
playing that very calmly, right? Buying enough time, just hold on to the site. Give up sands if needed. As long as we don't give up the spawn, they're just stuck there anyway by the rope. Then they just flood the site. And Meteor actually working in and out of, you know, his teammates. Toxic screen there as well to be good for one. And hey, we're back to Marshall.
Oh, with Meteor.
Hey, it's Meteor. What do you expect, right? You win the pistol. Even if you don't, you're always going to be seeing this Marshall come out. The flash is good. He knows that this is where they're positioned.
And he uses the paint shells to try to flush them out again. Apply a bit of pressure so he can re-peek once more. Gets the pick, and then he falls back.
And now without any smokes, I mean, sure, they have the one cyber cage, but without any of that support, Team Secret, you don't have much you can do as the attacking side on an eco like this.
Oh my god.
Enemy remaining. Flawless.
Well, that ended rather more abruptly than even I thought it would.
In all of this happening, Gen G finds that momentum. 5 rounds in a row if we count the ones from the last half. And this gives them more confidence. If anything, Team Secret are the ones being forced to try to do something different every round. And it becomes a bit of that trial and error process, something that's so risky that you have to start considering what happens if you lose these rounds. This bonus would be huge for Gen G if they actually won.
I mean, I think with what you just called out, with things like the momentum, if Gen G wins this bonus, we might as well almost say goodbye to the night here, as Gen G already up 1-0 in this best of 3. Now, because of this, Team Secret, they're not rushing anything, right? They know the onus is on Gen G. Jeremy trying to get 2 kills. Now, teammates there to make sure the weapon is not upgraded on the side of Gen G. They're just going to recover that, keep that away from Gen G's hands.
Pick that up, double it away. A little bit more presence on the other side of the map. Something that maybe Gen G wasn't quite expecting, but so was the off angle. Thankfully, Dubstep is here to make it a trade. Instantly pulls out the cam just to check. No one's rotating over from the bridge. So we're only left with Defender spawn or tree.
They didn't take away the Phantom. They didn't have time. They just wanted to check, and then they made the rotation.
Oh, no.
So an upgrade comes into play for Gen G. This is absolutely doable. Now, sure, favor still goes to Team Secret, but here's the thing. Team Secret, if they lose any more members, even more armor, it doesn't feel great.
I'm a little bit anxious, Will, but I have to believe Team Secret, they should have...
Oh, Gen G's not going for the win. They're literally going for damage, and it's working! What? They're just sending King to do it because you have Eco saving the Phantom!
Player standing.
They've done the damage they want! Gen G sending in their strongest player today, and perhaps so far in the entirety of Gen G here in Pacific. King, go do whatever more damage you can. We already got a free upgrade. We're
Play
gonna
the
feel
long
fine,
game.
yeah.
And now they can even afford an operator in the hands of Meteor.
Well, okay, let's see where the operator position is gonna be. Now it looks like it's gonna be a push out of arcade. Now if you wanna commit to this arcade push though, you're gonna have to really help plant him either much deeper and then help clear sewers, or you're just gonna check and then fall back. Looks like it might be the latter, especially with how this toxic screen is set up. All right, got that actually. Able to get that on the peak.
So he falls back to Jeremy continuing to press up front though. And in all that time, King, Meteor, they're just lying in wait.
Oh my! Yeah, that's one of those times where it starts to feel very, very scary. The plant will still happen. He takes a lot of damage, but the good thing for Team Secret is that, okay, Gen G has an operator, right? No retake is going to feel great here. What can they do? Oh. Well, King could just start winning every duel one by one.
He is that king on the chessboard. One piece by one piece, he gets all of them. Not unless some players from Team Secret can counter this. They do have that post-plant utility. Incendiary now deployed just to burn down the timer.
One enemy remaining.
He's not getting hit by it.
No!
TS can just hold it.
No!
Oh! It lands right beyond the other side of the box, and TS finds not only a spot to defuse, but also to hide at the same time. A crucial mistake coming up from Borkum, and that allows Meteor, despite having so little health, to just hold the angle, cover for TS.
Sniper Overwatch was something that I wasn't quite expecting, especially because she was that low. Surely a single spray would have done the trick, but look at how sharp Meteor is. More aces up their sleeves, and we have chess pieces on the side of Gen G. Being swapped out for Queens. So much cover being provided, so many players to look out for. The timeout being forced from Team Secret.
Yeah, and just to be in Team Secret shoes there at the end, right? I mean, yeah, Meteor was low, but I think at the same time, probably what they're thinking is, oh, I think they have someone sticking the defuse. So then you're just trying to wide swing, dodge the operator, get the spike diffuser first, right? Make sure that you can still keep the round alive. But Meteor doesn't miss a single one there at the end. He lifts a couple in the beginning, and he redeems himself right away. Gen G in the lead, 9-7. Secret, I think this time out more than anything, it's got to be used to calm your players down, right? I mean, yes, Gen G, they're taking the lead, but it's not that far off, right? 9-7. Sure, based on how these previous... Yeah, I mean, this one, you're going to have to save a little bit, so it's a half buy. So in theory, 10-7, still very doable, right? It's not out of this world yet. Yes, Meteor has an operator. It's all sorts of an uphill battle, but again, it's not like it's match point is what I'm trying to say.
I needed that, Will, thank you.
I mean, this is for all the fans that are cheering for Team Secret, and it's important for the players to remember as well.
That's why they're continuing to go into this full force, full send ahead, but Goddead does not budge. Close range duels is where he excels. Spray still good.
I know exactly.
Not before trade. It took down 2 players.
Oh, no, I was about to say, crucially, they still pick up 2 rifles, but Jesse Vash instantly loses one of them. So now, the Stinger and a Phantom, and the rolling
Defuse
Thunder.
the spike.
Eco just sending commands over to me here. Obviously just picking out the location there more than anything.
Well, I think, if anything, position's so crucial for Indy.
Oh!
Oh my god, it happens as a trade. Dubstep with the Phantom, just sidesteps it, pulling off the thrifty win for Team Secret.
A Dubstep holding strong, and if anything, this is actually pure instincts coming out from Dubstep to be prepared for the fault line. He walks out of it in time and is ready against the peak from Eco. I mean, a great attempt. You know, coming in from Gen G as well to try to hold things down, but Team Secret, they were just a little too fast. And I like this, you know, top and bottom split as well between Dubstep and Envy, right? I mean, Envy with the Rolling Thunder just trying to stay alive up in tower. Dubstep actually good for the trade. That was Gen G on an Eco.
This is where it also gets risky for Team Secret. You never quite know where Gen G might be hiding. That's why the utility has to be pristine. Aftershocks come in, and it forces him out of position. A little bit too aggressive, but thankfully Borkum is here to trade. Nightfall onto the site now, and they will be able to split up and conquer.
Okay, they did have to invest in Nightfall, but obviously they want to be very sure to tie this up. Now the members in main were not tagged, so they don't know how many are coming from here.
Not bad.
Yeah, but Meteor gets shut down immediately, and they're ready for it. Team Secret cleanly taking this back, tying it up 9-9. Still got a couple more ultimates to work with. The map's not over just yet, and that means the series could still go to a map 3 onto Lotus if we make it there.
A map where both teams will have a lot to show.
This is a nice spot.
But 3 ultimates versus 3 ultimates in this round, and it comes down to how Gen G might retake, how Team Secret might go in with a set play.
All right, so Team Secret, they're ready to just duke it out in a main, but this is really more to just fish out, right? What's the setup here from Gen G? Okay, they spot the raise as well.
Oh, Flash is
Oh, but Goddead actually gets 2 on the exit. He's holding the angle. They're just trying to set at least one of them up for success, and that's too many members lost. TS doesn't have to greed anything here. He can try to go for 1 kill. If he gets it, great. If not, he can just back out with the Shadow Step. Dropping the Shadow Step. Oh, saw the hat!
God damn.
Do they know where he went? Oh, TS still alive! He's just buying time, toying with his food!
And he is able to turn it into a feast for himself.
What an amazing triple kill. And once again, showing the comfort that he has on that Omen, right? It just gives him a little more to work with on his own. Goddead just spamming through the boxes and holding on the flash as well.
I do think, like, as opposed to an Astra, this makes a lot more sense. Gaining a little bit more mobility. So on the other side, though, just these positions being held up by A main, it's going to be tough for Team Secret to break through, especially if you allow for a player like Meteor to get into the corner.
Now they push out. Gen G constantly changing up the setup they have to fight for A main.
Oh my god, Jeremy.
They were trying to fight for this, and they realize if they hold close, Jeremy's not going to be able to respond in time and pull out the showstopper in time to get the double kill. Team Secret, they're still in the game though. Their backup cleans out the overeager members of Gen G.
And it comes down to that backup. The ultimate may be a little bit spent, but not the worst thing in the world. Now you have those numbers. Sometimes in these fights, the pawn has to be sacrificed. And then we have that Rolling Thunder, that orbital strike as a secondary piece of ultimate if we need it. Great intel from Goddead, though.
Yeah, and what a good timing. And oftentimes, if you don't have intel, that 1 minute to 50-second mark is, but then you're going to see the counter intel coming up from Secret. Now, here's the thing. You saw the Viper on the other side. Sure, you're stronger in numbers, but yeah, you don't want to go to where the Viper's set up. So they're just trying to fake out Gen G.
And now just to isolate the lone Eco, blocked off by the Sky Smoke as well, they will be able to get the spike plant. Still though, I'm a little bit worried because this is King after all.
Well, and Envy, can he get out? Now they know Envy's stuck.
Still in the corner, King able to get the first shot off. Got even odds now in Envy. Sustaining damage and all these little movements. Please don't burn alive. Dubstep. They turned this into a crossfire setup. King knows that he has to go into it, which will make it a near impossible fight to win. Throws the classic to fake the door.
Yeah, now they're shifting positions.
Oh,
Do they
God,
know?
Will.
Oh. Yeah, but I mean, look at this. King, again, no matter what position he's in, he always calculates all the possible moves and all the different multiverses that lead to the best scenario of a win, right? I mean, that is literally the best thing you could have done if you're still going to try to go for the fight.
I have to agree. That was that one possible scenario. Pull off that little bit of a fake. Because they have the numbers on the side of Team Secret. They were able to pull that off. If he had landed the shot onto Dubstep, then we would have a whole different story.
Oh, yeah.
In that infinite multiverse.
Yeah, I mean, of course, right? Because then the 1v1 comes down to two very low health players on either side. So, again, King understanding what the win conditions were. Unfortunately, Dubstep now just a step ahead. And we've seen Dubstep actually really stepping forward for the team, clutching out a lot of these rounds to keep them alive. And this has now come down to a 10-10. But Quack, I gotta say, the score says 10-10, but it feels like Team Secret, for whatever reason, is still trying to fight for their lives. Although they're the ones who have been trying to hold on to the lead. They're the ones who are trying to stay ahead in the second half here.
And we have to agree, that's why they are the ones kind of fighting so hard. Having lost the previous round, not quite getting the momentum in this one, they are trying so many different ways and methods to break off Gen G's defenses, sacrificing showstoppers just to push into A main. And now Gen G calls a timeout. Surely things are switching up again, and it's up to Team Secret to try to find that lead.
All right, so the judge comes out for God Dead. B tower, that's all his, fully his control. They're ditching A main, a big change for Gen G. They've been putting so much to fight for A main control. They're now trying to just have Team Secret fight their own demons over on A main. They want to make the Rolling Thunder. I like this choice. You know, go for the angle that you haven't really tried to punish a lot. Get the Rolling Thunder. Now you're set up for a retake.
Not only are they set up for a retake, they're perfectly positioned to resist the B site. Bits of intel coming in, and King already reads this. Snake bite down, just a delay. And Team Secret are forced to rotate again. Minute left on the clock, Will.
Yeah, I mean, sure, plenty of time, but if you want to go for another fake, yeah, you do have to leave at least one person behind. So Borkum gonna wait to see if anyone follows through, make sure that they have more information. Now Gen G, they have no interest in fighting for A. They're gonna play for time here.
They don't have to. If Team Secret walks past A main into the site, Rolling Thunder instantly hits them.
Yeah, I mean, Rolling Thunder there. If not, if they think they've missed the timing, they can both push out together to find Dubstep. They know that he's always been playing these lurks with that Cypher.
30 seconds left.
Launching smoke.
Okay, so we're going to see a two-pronged attack from Team Secret. This is going to make it a lot safer. Now, Dubstep has been spotted, so Eco has to turn around. Dubstep actually, really, you just have to stay alive!
Oh.
You just have to stay alive to buy time, but unfortunately...
Okay, Jeremy.
Jeremy now trying to fill this up. Okay. Team Secret adapting to that death.
I don't hate this. And the spike planted out so much so in the open that allows for Team Secret to play a bit of a crossfire from main and drop. Borkum coming up huge on this play from drop. Secures the position now. Gen G can only push in from ropes, from spawn. Easy read for Team Secret.
Okay, the smokes are all set up though. Gen G, they want to go for this round win. They're trying to bait out the order of command as well, I think. All right, now they exit.
One enemy remaining.
King not able to make it out alive though, so they were really just trying to go in to bait out whatever else they could, do whatever damage they could. But unfortunately, Team Secret, their setup said, we don't need to rely on that ultimate just yet. We will win these duels and move on to the next round. Economically speaking, Gen G not good for a full buy.
Yeah.
Here coming into round 22.
And for Team Secret, just to save and secure that match point as well, Gen G, seemingly a great setup. Having that Rolling Thunder in their pockets, but just foiled by what we thought was a bit of a blunder, right? We thought that Dubstep just needed to stay alive. Sure, he might have lost his life, but Jeremy was instantly there to fill that gap.
Yeah, and that was a great call, right? And perhaps that's why Dubstep tries to greed this, because already Jeremy was going to try to come take control of Dish anyway. Dubstep shuts down King. They know that they're ahead in firepower. It's marshals across the board for Gen G, but the lone rifle
Spike
on
down
TS.
A.
Fighting as if it's more than just one rifle. I mean, TS said, you guys need 5 parts to make one TS. Well, it's just me over here. It's the same value. Can he prove it with this one Vandal? I don't know how any of them get alive from that moment, but they all do.
Oh, and now Meteor has the angle as well. Team Secret, surely they don't continue to push past this. Hot so low. And they try to regress back into the door. God dead. Still holding it. And then we have Eco up by spawn. Meteor, still the angle, up the ropes.
Now they're really stuck. They have 0 exit. They commit so hard to this.
Doubling down on the offensive push. Leaves them vulnerable and exposed, Will. Gen G put up this wall.
Well, TS living up to that interview, right? How could you guys win against me 1v1 when you need all 5 to make TS? I'm already whole. I'm already 100% TS, he says, with that lone Vandal. Saved over from the previous round and now tied up once again 11-11. It's a head-to-head round with rifles across the board. Crucial ultimates ready as well, and Meteor. They've done this every time they needed a crucial win. Now Team Secret not entirely ready for it, but they fish it out as soon as it happens.
They have to find King right
Surely,
here.
surely, you use the same move, surely! Surely you sniff it out, but they don't!
One enemy remaining.
And what they do smell instead is near victory. Borkum, the only one left, an incendiary orbital strike, aggressive utility, but it's not that useful in these fights. The spike dropped. If anything, he could flush them maybe out of position, but that's not enough, Will, is it?
No, and here's the thing, with the creds like yours, even keeping that one Molly alive for the next round is actually going to be so crucial. I mean, you just have to accept the fact it's a 1v4. I know, maybe it is finally Borkum time, but it's still 4 members on the other side of Gen G. You also don't have the spike.
Where is he going?
You're just trying to save. You're just trying to save, but there's so much time on the clock. Yeah, Borkum, he just has to escape as far as possible, right? I mean, you don't have any other choice. Match point, you just have to accept that it's already happened. You cannot possibly try
30 seconds
to
left.
fight for this. These are not the times for heroics. We've seen some crazy moments. This is not it, and I cannot fault Borkum for going for the conservative choice here.
Every round just feels like it's Team Secret hanging by a thread.
10 seconds left.
They won't have enough for a big buy, for a full buy in that crucial match point round, Will. And Gen G, on the other hand, I don't know what it is. It might be the pressure, it might be the stress. But Gen G knows exactly how to press in and make it hurt. King just holding up by that one box, and you were saying Jeremy has played that position before. How did that happen?
I mean, again, sure, that doesn't mean you suspect it every time, but
Can I get a drop?
as soon as that first kill happens, we're at least trying to create some angles where you're not both exposed, but unfortunately, Team Secret not ready for it. Now an operator in hand of Meteor. It's match point in favor of Gen G. Trying to close this out 2-0. Team Secret, they've showed so much promise, but today, in the middle of each round, TS stays one step ahead. King continues to shut down any hope from Team Secret. Can they take us to an overtime and a potential Lotus?
They're trying to. They're going to fight tooth and nail, Will.
I mean, they have
Bit
to.
of a boom bot just to try to push some positions out. They might have hurt that shrouded step, but I don't know if that's enough information. All 5 stacked up together, kind of like how DFM were last week, but you don't quite have the flash from Sky. What you do have is a Prowler, and that gives away so much. It comes down to a bit of a gamble.
I mean, Gen G, I don't think they have any interest in fighting this, right? You're going to try to spray for some kills. Oh, and he's still good for 1. He was just trying to buy time, and here's the showstopper. All hope is being lost for Team Secret to bring this back, and now comes down only to Envy against all 5 members of Gen G. He's good for 1, but that's all he gets as Gen G closes out Fracture. 13-11, a 2-0 clean victory as they continue their wins in VCT Pacific.
Bow down, peasants. It takes 5 of you to make 1 of me. And on my side, I've got Meteor, Goddead, Eco, Sylvan, and King.
An incredible, incredible lineup. This time both Eco and Sylvan playing the maps once again to victory on the side of Gen G. And Team Secret, you see it in their faces. They're just not satisfied with any part of this, because here's the thing. I mean, they were actually trying to take pages out of so many different teams' books, and they've shown so much promise about it. But today, when they were the ones trying to bait out Gen G into wasting their utility, Gen G said, nah, that's what we've been showing everyone here in the stadium. We don't buy into that. And then Team Secret, the mid-rounding starts to fall apart. They start to panic, and they start to actually just go into these 1v1 duels.
Yeah.
Not something we've seen from them.
Not at all. But it's when you see these mid-rounds, you start to lack that spark of innovation. It just can't quite happen when you're under that much pressure, under that much stress to try to pull a fast one on Gen G. And that is why I think, even though this was seemingly so close, like you mentioned before, every single round it almost felt like Team Secret were continuously fighting for their lives.
Yeah, and I mean, they looked a lot more alive on Fracture, let's say that for sure, right? I mean, not even just in terms of score, but the way they were winning rounds, the way they were stringing together a couple, especially in that first half. But at the end of the day, Gen G, I think that entire squad, and then their IGLing and TS, the coaching staff, what they want to tell Team Secret today is we've always stayed one step ahead of you, right? One extra timeout, and then we'll catch right back up to you. We'll clean up the map. They use that to their advantage on both Haven and Fracture. Now Gen G continues their victories, only dropping one map so far against DFM. They now hold a 3-0 match record in league play here at VCT Pacific.
Which puts them right up next to their rivals. Good old rivals of all time.
I mean, well, Gen G likes to think themselves as rivals.
Sure.
I mean, you heard from Sax yesterday. He says, in my heart, sure, but my head says you guys aren't our rivals just yet. So we'll see if eventually they'll be able to prove themselves from Gen G here. But
for now.
Yeah, for now. Yeah, score-wise, right? They're saying, hey, we're coming for you. DRX, watch out.
It is a good showing. These Tigers are baring their fangs. And we are seeing that they have the potential to fix those mistakes. We might have seen some weaknesses against those plays on DFM, RRQ, on Fracture, but today they've kind of fixed it. They have fixed it.
Yeah, and Gen G, I think, again, showing why so many people had faith in them, right, in terms of just the support they have, the players they have, how they've grown actually individually throughout all their career so far. Meanwhile, in Team Secret, this is that moment where they can actually now, in the future, prove the same things that the Gen G players have, right? Of, okay, you showed promise, you met a hard opponent, you got red, you showed your weaknesses. How do you recover from that in the coming weeks?
And that's where, again, you kind of want to go back to that drawing board. I think that's what Gen G did after losing to DFM and, well, losing a few maps to DFM. If anything, they're showing that they have that little extra. They managed to switch up from an Astra to an Omen, and it actually just gave them enough aggression to be able to fight back, whether it's A main, whether it's sight holes, or just spraying through smoke sometimes, and it all works out.
Yeah, and I think that's the other thing, right, is something that we mentioned when they were playing that Astra was, okay, well, now you kind of have to always be body checking to get info. But now with the Omen, even if you do check, you have a way out with that Shrouded Step, and we saw that several times from TS where he's able to create another off angle, right, buy a little more time for backup to arrive. Again, these small adjustments, the style itself hasn't changed for Gen G, but it's just one agent change, a little bit of a style and timing difference, and they're able to stay ahead, keep that win streak in terms of match score here. And Gen G, I mean, a lot of people saw a lot of hope at lock-in. They're continuing to deliver off of that.
It's looking to be very likely. I think okay, maybe a little bit presumptuous, but I feel like they might be one of those teams that will definitely make it to playoffs.
Oh, to playoffs?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I think
I wasn't going to go that far.
I thought you were about to say Bastards Tokyo. I was like, well, hold your horses. I think playoffs, it's fairly safe, right? I mean, sure, they actually have a lot of their tough opponents still left in terms of just, overall tier list, but still a 3-0 record. I mean, you win at least one more match, you're probably getting into at least the top 6, and then you buy yourself more time in that double elimination format. So Gen G, they're sitting strong. Meanwhile, Team Secret, again, they're not in any danger. But this has to be that match where they have to learn from it and prove to us that they can continue to evolve, that they didn't already hit their peak just yet.
Yeah, keep going that one step forward. Find those mistakes. Keep on fixing them. And then maybe one day you'll be able to play right next to DRX. But still, Team Secret, I mean, today, maybe not the best showing, but they still show promise.
Yeah, and I just want to go back to that again. The setups and all that, the compositions, the initial calls, the defaults, those weren't exactly the biggest problems, but it's more, again, when TS and the rest of Gen G start to run laps around you in the mid-round, we started to see the calling and then the communication between the members of Team Secret break down, right? It starts to just go into duels. And if you just go into duels, if you're not in prime condition that day, you just lose the round, right? That's just how an FPS works.
Yeah, we did see some duels with Envy, but when it comes down to it, that many rounds coming back and forth, it just, you don't want to keep going for duels. You need to find a way to find that extra gear shift. Go a little bit further. If Gen G are running laps around you, then you need to be the ones to kind of break that circle, break that wheel. Go find something different. I think they were trying to do that, but because this was already map 2 at that point, it was just a little bit too risky. But still, at the end of the day, it's going to be Gen G with the win, and we do have an interview with the king himself. Take it away, Jang-hyun.
Well, walking away victorious tonight is Generation Gaming. I'm joined by King from Gen G. Now, King, congratulations, but someone had to lose today, and you made sure that wasn't Gen G. Talk to me about the mindset coming into this matchup. 킹 선수 승리 축하드립니다. 이제 오늘 누군가의 연승은 끊겨야 됐는데 그렇기 때문에 좀 특별하게 마음가짐을 다잡았을 것 같거든요. 어땠나요?
일단 오늘 매치업이 누구 하나는 부러지는 싸움이라서 근데 또 하필 아침에 일어나는데 잠이 안 깨더라고요. 그래가지고 좀 걱정은 했는데 정신 차려서 잘 이긴 것 같아요. 네.
Well, someone had to lose today, obviously, and I was a little bit concerned, especially because I woke up today and I was still kind of sleepy. I was worried that I might not be able to perform up to par, but today went pretty well, and I'm glad that we walked away with the win. Well, I want to get your thoughts on how Team Secret performed. 그러면 이제 팀 시크릿을 상대해 보니까 어땠는지, 어떤 팀 같은지 얘기해 주시죠.
일단은 되게 팀 합이 되게 잘 맞았고 그리고 그 서로 5명 간에 약속된 플레이가 되게 많은 팀이라 좀 까다로웠던 것 같은데 그래도 저희가 분석을 잘해서 되게 당황하지 않고 카운터를 잘 친 것 같아요.
Well, first of all, their team coordination and teamwork was good, I must say, and I feel like their executes were on point every single time. So they did give us a hard time, but we did prep heavily, and we're glad that what we analyzed about them worked well against them. And last time, TS said, TSs, so many TSs. Last time, Gen G's TS said, Gen G right now is only at 50% of their full power or full potential. Now it's week 3, and do you feel like the number has gone up a little bit? 그러면 이제 TS 선수가 지난주에는 좀 팀의 가능성의 50%밖에 아직 도달하지 못한 것 같다라고 얘기를 했는데 팀의 완성도가 좀 높아졌다고 생각하시나요?
오늘 경기를 봤을 때는 한 51% 정도 네, 생각하고 있습니다.
Yes, in fact. I mean, looking at today's matchup, I think the number has gone up to 51% maybe. Well, I want to talk to you about your efforts to make the fracture stronger. You guys played 3 different fractures in VCT so far, and you guys all switched the comps up. So talk to me about what kind of the decision the team had with the comp. 그러면 이제 프랙처에서 계속해서 조합을 바꿔주고 있는데 좀 어떤 이유에서인지도 들어볼 수 있을까요?
일단 저번에는 뭐 그러니까 일단 그냥 여러 가지 조합을 준비해왔기 때문에 여러 가지를 쓰는 것 같아요. 네.
Well, I don't think I can tell you much, but we have been prepping different comps for fracture, so we're trying those out. Well, last but not least, we have another Gen G versus T1 coming up in Valorant this time, and I bet you have a very good feeling about this. 그러면 이제 다음 주 젠지와 T1의 경기인데요. 좀 느낌이 좋을 것 같아요.
아무래도 어제 롤도 저희가 이겼기 때문에 좋은 기운 받아서 저희도 발로란트 박살 내고 오겠습니다. 네.
알겠습니다. Well, I think yesterday our league's team lifted the trophy against T1, and that kind of proves that Gen.G never loses to T1. So yeah, obviously we're gonna take that win. Well, that was King, everybody, with the post-match interview. And speaking of King, here's a bad joke, a bad King pun for you. So why did the King go to the dentist? To get his teeth crowned. Haha. How'd you like that, Victoria?
Jen! Jen and her jokes.
Beautiful, Jen.
Jen,
Beautiful.
I had to tell you guys, Jen has been coming into the green room every single week with new TS puns and jokes every single time. It's an honor of Team Secret and for TS, I guess. Thanks, that was a great joke. I don't know, 8 out of 10?
I think so, yes.
I want to die.
Achilleos wants to die.
Not
that is
good.
His
Not good, Jen. She said that one back in the green room as well while we're watching the game, and we said, "Oh no, that's
I felt like
terrible.
she had one like in the chamber. Today, she's been going nuts on the puns.
Look, Jen, I enjoy your jokes. Please keep them coming. Now, as for that game, it was really close. We saw some incredible Sheriff plays by Jesse Bash, and Jeremy was amazing on Raze. And I thought it was really interesting how Omen, the switch, we were a little bit skeptical about the Omen, the Astra to Omen switch, but it seems like it worked out. It gave him a lot more mobility.
I mean, I was very concerned going into, once we saw that Fracture was in this. But clearly, Gen.G working on it. Still some improvements to be had, I think, overall with how they approach this map. I mean, TS were fighting back tooth and nail. I really thought this was either going to end up going into overtime or it was going to be going to a map 3. Either way, I would have been fine because it was damn exciting the whole way throughout. You already mentioned Jeremy. Whale of a performance when it came down to the Raze. This guy was just really, really clean when the team was needing it. When they were getting pushed back, when it looked like Gen.G was going to go on a nice little win streak, a lot of the times it was Jeremy's entries that really helped them be able to solidify on those sites and be able to pull off the rounds.
Yeah, I mean, overall, like, this is a great map, and Team Secret, looked really good on their defender side. It was 6-6, so I thought, if their attacker side can be pretty clean, they should have a really good shot at this. Envy was doing a great job locking down the sites by himself at times or with a little bit of help. I remember that one where he's playing around the B site box, and he got a 4K there. Absolutely incredible stuff from him. But it just felt like, again, it's a little bit deeper in the tank here for Gen.G and their playbook. Like, you'd see Secret get aggressive and things like that, and immediately Biles just like, no, we're done with this. Like, we gotta figure something else out. He calls timeouts. I think he called great timeouts. Like, Bile did a really good job of making sure that Team Secret never really started to run away with things. Anytime they started to string some rounds together, he's right there to, like, put a stop to it, try something different, get them to, put themselves in different positions, stop messing around with the radar dish and, getting blasted out there when they're trying to push through. Like, change the way that TS is holding down sites in particular. Like, let him control that dish area by himself instead of putting a couple players there just for them to get kind of overwhelmed with utility, because Team Secret really seemed to be wanting to attack that area. Instead, you put TS there, like we were talking about. The maneuverability with the Omen allows him to, if he's sensing that pressure with that util, to just peace out with the TP and let them take that space. And that's okay, because then they can play for retakes.
Absolutely. Actually, let's pull up a clip on that. We have in the first half, exactly we were talking about, the multiple round wins by TS that looked, Team Secret, that looked really good, and they pushed Gen.G into this timeout.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really good start. They decided to, like, change up the pace a bit here, rush out towards tree. Borkum gets tucked away behind box. The flash, it unsteadies him a little bit, and then he can't quite stabilize. So it looks like this is going to end up going the way of Gen.G, but it all comes down to Envy, who goes absolutely massive in this round. Turns away from the flash, completely avoids it. The fragment not landing on top of him, swings out wide, finds one, and is able to finish the other after taking Goddead down so very low for a nice little 4K. Then in the very next round, they do the same thing for the most part over on the opposite side of the map. So now they're playing dish side on north. Paranoia comes in, just trying to slow them up. Gen.G's doing everything they can to try to buy some time. But then the Rolling Thunder comes across. TS uses the TP to try to avoid it. He does, but he's also in a really bad spot, and it sets up for Jeremy to get this massive double kill with the rocket. King then arrives, is going to try to pinch in behind with Goddead, but it's just such a desperate situation, and he's not anticipating Dubstep to be right up against the wall. So 2 quick kills coming in. That then forces a timeout from Gen.G, immediately trying to pump the brakes, and I believe it doesn't work. I think that Secret might actually be able to win that follow-up as well. Either way, I just love the way that they were playing with aggression and just shifting it to the opposite side of the map, just making sure that they're staying up to date with where they think the stacks are going to be coming through here from Gen G.
And it forces the changes from Gen G. It sets the tempo here for the side of Team Secret, right? Where they're the ones dictating when Gen G has to take the timeouts. Because normally, you know, obviously you want to have your opponent on the back foot where they have to be the ones that take the timeouts, and then you can maybe react well to that. We saw that on Haven for Gen G, where even after Team Secret took timeouts, sometimes Gen G would still come out and have a pretty decent read on what was going to happen. So this is kind of Team Secret flipping the script a little bit. You know, generally you want to have a slightly better attacker side than defender side on this map, but they were doing, you know, kind of flipping the map. Like they were the ones playing like it's an attacker side.
And I think that when you can do that successfully back to back and, you know, chain these rounds together when you're just perfectly reading your opponent, it puts so much mental duress on them, because they're like, we're changing up our strategies, we're trying to approach from different angles here, but they're just getting a read on it, and that can really weigh on you. And that's when the coach has to come in and intervene, has to be able to, you know, talk you through something different. Because if the IGL isn't able to course correct and feels like everything that they attempt is getting punished, then that can really weigh on you, and that drags down your performance.
Now, there's one round, round 11, where William was just like, Desk, please break this down. So we will break this down for you.
Much to our chagrin, we will do it. This was a chaotic round, to be honest. And I think that I will point out to the Secret fans that it's William who requested this one. So when this ends in tragedy, you can blame him. It's just complete and utter chaos over here at B Arcade. Everybody is essentially stacked up. Dubstep is now rotating over here to try to join in the fight. He was the only one who was really situated towards A. Eventually, we end up in a 1v2. This knife confirms that he's here, and it seems like King's the one who makes the call, says, God dead, we're both tagged up. You're literally 1 HP. We got to go to A.
Yeah, and this is a really good maneuver here by Dubstep. Frankly, puts himself in a great position to win this round. Sets up the one-way, but Goddead with 1 HP just can't find a stray bullet to connect into him here. You can see they're trying to jump to kind of obscure their movement, and it's a double swing, one right after the other. It's a good idea from Gen G, really the only way they have any hope of getting through that smoke alive, and it just barely works out. But at the beginning of that round, what really impresses me is the way that Gen G is able to stagger their mollies, right? They have more mollies than the side of Team Secret there, and since they're able to kind of bunch them up and pinch them together. You saw the snake bite, the fragment, right? You're able to, and of course the paint shells from the rays, you're able to really do a lot of extra damage. King sets himself up nicely. Of course, the vulnerable with the snake bite as well. All that put together gives them that extra little bit to come through with a 2v1 to get the win.
Yeah, and I mean, again, William, he's the one who requested
It's
that.
your fault,
Willie.
It's his fault. It's his fault, so.
That was for
Now,
Willie.
he angered the Japanese fans, now maybe the Filipino fans.
Could be. But I will say, I mean, I think, you know, for Dubstep, obviously, that's not a good look. The guy's 1 HP. You should be able to get that. So it is a little bit of a fumble in his hands. But you can see the moment that it all goes wrong, and it's an instinctive reaction, which is to stop the spray and then try to readjust, reset it to try to go for that next person. Whereas if he'd just held down his mouse, adjusted it slightly, he would have been able to get that kill. So I understand why this occurred. It's just really unfortunate, and it doesn't look good.
Do you know why? It's because everyone's like, he's low, he's 1 HP, and this time he was actually 1 HP, and he should have just continued that spray.
So yeah, a PSA. Stop saying that they're one shot when they're not one shot.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because this is what happens, and people lose a round because of these bad calls. Now, there was a particular round, or actually many rounds, where Gen G really reigned supreme here, and they just read Secret like a book.
Yeah, I mean, you get the spot here. Again, this is TS utilizing that
bold
maneuverability. Yeah, to get up there and then TP's right at him, right by the box, and somehow he gets that swing. I mean, the paranoia there perfectly placed, but it's the second kill in the middle of that is nasty. That swing he took and just found the head instantly in the middle of it. It almost felt like he was like, it was like hit scan. Like, it almost felt like he just like was cutting across and just timed it right.
It's an incredible play and a really bold move there from TS to try to go for that teleport, but he acknowledges I'm in a rough spot, opts to go for the super aggro one, puts himself in harm's way. And unfortunately, Borkum not having the strongest performance here today. We didn't really get to Borkum time. The clock ran out before we got there, and he just comes up with those 2 kills. But now that we've praised TS enough, King and Goddead, again, these are 2 people that we were looking to have a pop-off performance from. We were talking about Meteor, the way that he couples in with Goddead. Goddead leveled up. The tissue is in from the very beginning today, and it reflects in his performance across both of these maps. King as well, absolutely nutty.
Yeah, Goddead continues to really shine on the KO. I mean, that's basically the only agent he's playing outside of Breach on the Haven, right? That's the first time we saw him play anything other than KO.
Good.
Well, yeah, what we've seen is Breach before here in Korea. We know he's very good on it. We've seen a lot. Like, I still think back to that hold he had outside of the B site on Haven where he's by the box. outside of the B site and was able to hold on. I think it was last year with On Slayers. Got like a 1v3 or something. It's just absolutely insane play. But this guy really, really plays these initiators incredibly well. He has great timings, particularly with his flashes. We've seen him setting up Meteor a lot, or whoever it is, for his team. Fragments look to be really on place. I thought the knives could use a little bit of work. I think that there were opportunities,
sure.
yeah, the 0 points to shut down some of the utility a little bit more. I didn't find that those were super impactful. But still, the rest of it is there, and he's having a great first blood percentage as well, playing point of contact whenever that happens up in that B tower or wherever he may be very, very well. He's very cagey. He's great up close and personal with those Phantoms. You got to love what you're seeing from Goddead.
With that, though, I have to say our MVP for today.
We were just talking about him.
Yeah, just got to be King. It's King.
Get the
was
throne.
Fantastic.
Get the
I mean,
throne,
give
get
him
the
the
scepter.
We
Yeah.
had the King graphic earlier, a nice little Photoshop, but yeah, I mean, it was just an incredible performance from King, and this is what we have come. This is what we expected from him since 2020.
Oh, I just thought of a good
since
one.
First Strike.
He's a making. Amazing, a making. No, not
That
good.
was worse than Jen. Anyway,
Let Jen stick to the
Oh,
jokes.
come on.
All right, paper
Aw.
thin.
that was extra tragic. King,
Me-
when he back,
Oh my
I'm trying.
God.
I'm trying to make
bad,
a
right?
I'm trying to make a serious analytical point, and here we are.
This is what I do to him. He has to put up with this on a daily basis.
Anyway, King, very good player. He's been good player since Vision Strikers.
Yes.
Vision Strikers no more. Not nearly as good on Slayers. Took a break, comes back. He's back on top. He looks like he is right back to that Vision Strikers era with a new team around him.
Yeah.
It is just fantastic to see, because this is what we always wanted. Once On Slayers kind of started going down that slope, King wasn't finding his footing. He wasn't being that site anchor. We're curious, how is he going to do coming back in with this On Slayers core on Gen G under a different banner, and it looks like he's right at home.
It's the confidence that's really impressed me with him. Like, I could see it in his, like, demeanor. Like, he used to be kind of a meek kind of dude. He just showed up, he did his job, he did it really well.
Yeah.
And so we're always just really impressed. He just kind of, he didn't really, his personality didn't really come through.
He's coming out of his shell now.
Exactly. I mean, even at lock-in, I just could tell right away when he came out on the stage. He's got theatrics. He's out there, doing impressive stuff, not just in the game but out of the game in terms of just what I see on the way that he
Carries himself.
carries himself. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. The way he talks now, you can see he pops off after that 4K. I mean, he was like, trying to get the crowd into it and stuff. So this is stuff that we never saw from King until this year, and it's kind of part of his evolution as this superstar, Sentinel Viper specialist.
Yeah, he's really getting used to his throne. Now, we knew they had to be a loser today. It was a really close match, and I just have to admit, you guys were right. You, Gen G, won the game.
What can I say? Easiest part of my life.
Soak in the moment.
I definitely didn't lose almost every other prediction this week.
I know.
Somehow I got this one right.
You and I basically, I think we picked the exact same thing the whole week through.
Yeah.
I think,
Essentially.
and that's not intentional. We don't actually plan this out. This is just like we
Do
just.
you plan your underwear together? It's like, we got this together. No? No? Oh, that's a little personal. I'm sorry. I'm surprised you're not rubbing it in. They were rubbing in my face so hard in the green room. They were just insulting me left, right, and center.
Because on camera, I'm unbiased and fair.
Yes. Off camera, we are
Backstage,
biased as crap.
There's no rules. But no, it was a good series. I do,
Yes.
I do feel like we got a little bit robbed by it not going to game 3 because it was so good back and forth between these two. Even though Haven was a 13-8, it felt so many of those rounds were a hell of a lot closer than you might have anticipated, and they absolutely could have gone the way of Secret. I mean, again, you think about that King 4K clutch taking down Borkham, just reading that he wasn't holding the spike at all. So moments like that could have definitely made that a hell of a lot closer. This absolutely could have been, double overtime maps. It could have been double 13-11s. It could have been a third map. So it was very entertaining from both teams.
It was. It was an awesome showing by both sides. I think Stax yesterday in his interview, he said the team that he was most hesitant about was Gen G, and I guess we can see why. So they did well. Now we've completed all the games for week 3. Let's see where all the teams are standing at this point in time.
Well, again, with this win, that means that Gen G and DRX are currently the only teams that are 3-0. Secret, they don't fall down too far. We see them at the moment there in that 5th place spot, but I mean, given what they've been able to show to us, I have full confidence that they are going to, well, A, be in the playoffs, because there's almost no way that they're going to get knocked out of the top 6, but also that they can climb their way back up to be in that top 3, and maybe even into the top 2. If they could just continue to win these ones, Gen G, Paper X, maybe they drop a couple series, I think they absolutely can make that happen. They have what it takes. They had a couple players that had a little bit of an off day here today, so I think that if they come back in full form for their next matchup, which is against RQ, then I think that they're going to be sitting pretty. But the biggest thing is, cleaning up how many maps they play when they are winning.
It's
because
true.
it has been a lot, and that's why they find themselves in 5th right now below T1, because T1 has one fewer map drop.
And they need to win a map pick.
Yeah.
They need to win a map pick really bad. They have yet to win a map pick.
It's
so
true.
for
They're
Team
now
Secret,
0-3.
that sucks. So obviously next week, we've got some amazing matches right out the gate. DRX versus Paper X. I mean, that is absolutely maybe one of the best matches you're going to have the entire regular season.
It's by far the marquee matchup. I mean, not only is it just these two teams, Paper X looking a bit reinvigorated, but we also have the trash talk coming out of something as well as the responses from Foxy9 saying that, oh, you're scared, it's not going to be easy, whatever, I'm going to crush you. So that already adds so much extra hype to it. And the fact that that is right there off the top of the day next Saturday is just going to be so excited. I wish I was casting it. I'll be on the desk for it.
I get to cast
I'll be here in the studio, and I will be watching it, but I hate you so much for getting to cast that.
But then you get T1 Gen G and then DFM
That's
Zeta
true.
the next day.
That's true. I get the Korea
really
v Korea
good.
and the Japan versus Japan.
That's
so
right.
there's going to be
and by the
very
way,
confused fan bases on either side.
And by the way, if you want to see Gen G versus DRX, that's week 5. If you're curious.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Not
yeah.
next week, but the week after.
I had to look it on my schedule. I'm like, wait, when do they play again?
I'm not going to be on the desk for the Paper X game. Oh, I'm so sad. Anyway, I'll be at home screaming my head off for one of the teams. Anyway, so we are going to recap on all of this, and we have a very special guest who will be joining us for the weekly recap happening in 20 minutes from now. He really likes hot chocolate. As a hint, his name rhymes with Schmorturds.
That's a Twitter thing. Oh my god.
You can
Schmorturds.
Schmorturds. That's just a hint for later. In 20 minutes, do join us for a weekly recap. I'm Victoria. Thanks for joining me, Achilleos and Paper Thin. They'll be together with us in the recap. Your pen okay?
Yeah, it just fell down. It's fine.
All right. See you guys in a little bit.
Bye.
Welcome back to Valorant Champions Tour Pacific. We are on the final day of week 3. We're live in Seoul, South Korea. I'm Victoria, and with me at the desk, we have Paper Thin and Achilleos. I think Team Secret's going to win. I think they've had such a strong showing, and we're going to go to the stage and watch that walkout.
A preparation here. Nice energy.
They need to regroup, but Team Secret is fast on this retake. Able to take back and forth, down to 14 HP, but he lands the hit!
What a flick, what a clutch, and this is just the first round. And it's something that TS might not really expect, but Team Secret's still ready for it.
The fault line isn't good!
Oh, close! Thus, Team Secret find a second win. Ether. So this comes down to a little bit of a firing range, not at least until King.
Is it gonna happen? Yes, it's the cap! King wins the mind games against Borkum.
Close to the double digits, and because of that, they're going a little bit more aggressive. They know they can take some risks.
No. Ah, he's not gonna get it.
No! Instead, it's going to be Meteor! And Borkum's the last one left. Going to be caught inside his corner, concussed, and wallbang by Goddamn.
Thunder as well. Team Secret, they want to push out. This has been telegraphed. TS left behind. And now the showstopper, the clean house. Triple kill for Jeremy. And here's the showstopper. Loss for Team Secret to bring this back, and now comes down. He's good for 1, but that's all he gets as Gen G closes out Fracture. 13-11, a 2-0 clean victory as they continue their wins in VCT Pacific.
Fighting demons. Care off. I think they off, guys.
Yeah. Smoke it dyan.
Stick to your roles and we'll crush it.
エイロンもスモークとスタン切った。あ、Z来てる。来た。
Hey, they smoke.
ああ、
Right.
ちょっとね、なんか、来てない。Let's go A, guys. Let's go A, guys. コンエロ。スモーク返せねえや。まあ、15秒。
Pick. I have only one star, okay?
あ、open long. Go from right first.
30 seconds
We gonna
left.
burst, okay?
Gonna red short. A 欲しい。これ来て。A だね。ショートスモーク。
They retake.
入れた。A ショット A ロンツー。Give me both. 蹴る。
10 seconds left.
でも、して、
Spike
多分
planted. You should
得た。多分得た。
To the party.
Welcome to VCT Pacific, the weekly recap where we recap stuff. And we are on week 3. We recap stuff topics on VCT Pacific.
Anything comes to our mind.
Just stuff. And we have stuff, we have extra stuff. We have an extra guest today. As I mentioned, his name rhymes with Schmore.
You said
nerds.
Schmore
I said Schmore turds. I'm changing it to nerds. Schmore nerds. We got Evan here. Warbirds, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us in our shenanigans today because we are going to have a bit of shenanigans. Now,
Oh yeah.
I heard you watched our power rankings, our tier rankings last week with Achilleos and Quack.
Yeah.
And you had some opinions. Like, were there any things that you didn't agree with?
Y'all are some cowards, man. Nobody in D tier? Come on.
Okay, I wasn't on the show, so this is all on him.
Okay, that I can understand. Yes, I don't feel like there's truly like necessarily like a completely hopeless team that I wanted to put in D tier. I thought you were gonna give me flack for not putting you guys higher, and I'm like, I did. I put you at the top. I put you all the way up there.
Yet he's not happy.
But okay, for the other reasons, sure, if we do it again, I'll be ruder and more critical.
Nice.
Just for your sake.
Nice. We gotta get some trash talk here.
All right.
What would be the major change you would have?
You just like spread it out more. Like there are definitely some teams that like, in my opinion, are D tier. Obviously, like you can move up and down between the tiers, and like different days you play differently, different weeks you play like to varying skill levels. But I don't know. There's some teams that even now I'm like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how they turn out.
All right. Well.
Who else belongs on S tier with you?
Gen G, they beat us.
Props to Gen G, they did. That was a close game. Actually, let's get into that. Let's talk about the standings so far, as of week 3.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's DRX and Gen G, 2 of our Korean representatives, right up there at 3-0. So pretty strong start. Paper X
Feel good.
looking pretty decent, but then Secret, a little bit of a tumble for you guys.
Unlucky.
But it's mostly due to that that map win-loss. You guys have played a lot of maps compared to a lot of the other teams. So that's why you guys are down there, below T1 at the moment. But
You got a better round difference.
Yeah, we got the +9.
yeah, exactly. So I think you guys are still sitting pretty. I was mentioning this on the desk earlier. Like, I feel like you guys are guaranteed, effectively, in my brains, like playoffs. There's like surely no way. But I think that you guys are going to be able to get yourselves back up into the top 3.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Who do you think's going to make the playoffs? Who are going to be our 6 teams? Give us the 6
I mean,
teams.
DRX, Gen G, I think, given us.
DRX?
Yeah, DRX. Yeah.
PRX.
Oh, PRX.
PRX.
Yeah, I think Paper X will as well. I mean,
you think Zeta
especially
makes it?
bringing something, and I think their last match they looked like a lot more cohesive. As for the last one, it's like a pretty big toss-up. I think GE like they're 0-3 right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. Like for them, it's like in my mind, I think they can be good, and I think they can take that spot. But obviously, it's like an uphill climb. Zeta, obviously, I think they can as well. They looked pretty good versus GE. But yeah, I think it's a pretty big toss-up.
The last spot's a toss-up.
Yeah.
All right, now we have our week 3 MVPs. All of these guys showed up. They showed the heck up. Some of them who weren't performing so well initially by week 3, like Depp, for example, just rose from the ashes.
You disagreed with some of our power rankings. Do you disagree with any of our MVP picks from this week?
Do you think we picked the right MVP for Gen G?
Yeah, I think King.
Okay.
I mean, King had that really big round on Haven, if you remember.
Yep.
Was
The
it
4K.
a 1v3 4K,
got the 4K
on
clutch,
the B post plant? So like he had like some really big rounds because like our game plan was just shut down Meteor. Like before Brazil we like always scrimmed Gen G. Like we scrimmed them every single day. So like we knew what each other were doing going into this match, and like how we like to play and how they like to play. So yeah.
No wonder the reads on both sides were absolutely solid. Now, there's one thing that's coming up next, a particular activity your team is really familiar and dominant with. It's called Melee Madness.
Yes.
Let's pull up these videos because we've had a lot of madness coming up. I think we're tied 2-2 with Team Secret and Paper X on
That's why we
Melee
lost.
Madness.
We didn't get a knife kill.
No Tondo. Yeah, no Tondo gaming today.
I mean, this was like
this
this
is
would be like
blood.
the OG one that kind of kicked off the season.
The best is it's like in the air, like it's a flying knife. Like this one is so good. Like he hits him on the way down.
That last little hit on the body, that's a bit toxic. We'll have to talk to him about that.
But that was, I think, the most glorious knife kill.
I got for anybody who hasn't seen our like plays of the week from that week. So the editing that was done on that is some of the smoothest transitions I've seen, and they completely like pan out and they just have this whole like animation where they pull the samurai sword and then it perfectly plays into him actually
Wow.
like dropping down and slicing. Really, really good and definitely worth checking out. But yeah, I mean that set the bar pretty damn high.
Yeah.
For knife kills, it was stylish. It was kind of like the Lakia jump off of Heaven there on Ascent. But just with the solo knife kill instead.
I think executionally and just aesthetically, it was the best one. But you guys had one more knife kill that was also super impressive, considering it was a thrifty
This
round.
is all your fault.
It was an
You know
eco,
that,
right? It was an eco too.
This is all
If
your
I
fault.
remember, Vosh had a frenzy too, right?
Do you guys train for this? Why are
No,
do you practice this?
absolutely not.
I mean,
This is what they do in their scrims. They just do this.
The fans have been saying like that Jesse must just go in the DMs and try to get as many knife kills as possible. It definitely looks like it. And I just love the aesthetic differences between them because the first one looks super sick because because it's that katana, and then this one he's just. He is flailing and he's using a mace, so it's just perfect. He's just desperately trying to cleave somebody down.
The freeze frame is pretty good on that one.
The little slow zoom in.
Yeah.
Just moments before disaster.
Yeah.
Now we have two other Melee Madness, Menaces to Society Paper Rex. Let's see how you rank these knife kills.
Whether or not they're better than your own.
Paper X are starting to turn things up to 11.
This one was just unfortunate.
This one is just, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, now this is all just like Forsaken just playing with his food.
Yeah.
Look at his little face.
Hey.
It's just great. He's so happy with himself after doing that.
He was. I think he was. They were just a little
What
upset they didn't
is
get one on
your
you guys.
like? What goes through your team's like comms when they're like getting a knife or like after the knife? Do they like? Can you say it on air? Like, is it?
Yeah. I mean, like to bring up because the Team Liquid one. When Vosh got a knife, it was very similar to that, where it's like you just try to like keep his attention.
Yeah.
So like just calling like, oh, like bait for me, like just try to jiggle, bait out a shot, like keep his attention there instead of like trying to check flank.
Do you get nervous in those moments when you see them going for it?
So I have this thing where like whenever it's a tense situation, I'll like breathe through my teeth. So I'll go like, I'll do that.
Yeah.
So so sometimes the comms are ruined because like, you know, during our like mic'd up video, like you'll just hear like, or like me, because like I also talk a lot to myself too during the match. So it's like, sometimes you have to throw away some of that stuff. But yeah, for the most part, it's just like calming to each other to help, you know, to draw their attention.
It feels like I think at this point, like if you see them going for it, there's enough trust. You know that they're probably going to be good. They're not going to get punished on this one. But I mean, you're talking about baiting for them. I already know what the last clip is.
Exactly.
And this one is entirely set up because of baiting.
Exactly. Let's pull up that very last knife kill from Saturday, 2 days ago.
Yeah, this one is Devi, I do believe.
Starts the round.
As unfortunate little Zeta, all on his lonesome.
They're just like spraying through the smoke. I think Benkai gives his life for this knife.
Oh, he does. He does.
Yeah.
No.
It's
You gotta love it. I mean, look at this.
You can imagine the comms on. It's like, whoa, I got it.
Jing died. Jing gave his life. Oh, okay, it was Jing. Okay.
It's worth though.
They're totally worth.
It's like the mental damage that you do to them.
Yes.
They did it twice.
That's what they were talking about. I remember we had asked. I think it was something that we had in the interview, and they asked about it, and it's just like, oh, you know, it messes with their mental and whatnot. So it's if you can pull it off and you don't take too much of a punishment, it's worth it every single time. So.
Do you think your team would be able to take a knife kill as well as they give?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Would it
the
wreck
team.
their mental?
I don't think it would, cause like.
Take a penny, leave a penny.
I don't think it would. Like we have a pretty mature team. Like we have some like the older players in the league, and then we have some younger ones. So like I think it might be case by case, like player by player. But I think for the most part, like we're pretty good at like moving on, like mental resetting. So.
Oh, it's good. It's good. I see you guys do bike rides around town, and just decompressing around Korea that way.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you noticed, but us in VCT Pacific, we love games, and I got another game for you guys, and it's a new one.
Oh, God.
Hooray!
And today, the Myeongdong Hills are alive with the sounds of Valorant.
What?
The Myeongdong Hills.
Are there hills in Myeongdong?
in Myeongdong.
I just wanted to say
Until you
hills.
get to Namsan.
Okay. Well, I don't know. There's a little slope, like the little slopes of. Anyway.
She said Unkyong, which is like right next to where we are. There's
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
three
yeah.
different mountain
I
ranges.
didn't know that.
Samandong? We're in Samandong.
I have no idea what you just said.
Yeah.
I am also
Okay.
new to Korea. So anyway, they're hills and they're sounds of Valorant. And what's going to happen, we're going to play a voice line from one of the agents in Korean. And
Oh, this is doomed.
now, should we do a raising hand? If you know it, you raise your hand.
Sure.
All right, we're in the classroom now.
Don't be surprised when no one raises their hand.
I don't know.
I might just raise my hand just to beat like the other guys, just to say something. I don't need just,
just
to
to
guess.
say
Take a
something.
stab
But
in
you
the
guys
dark.
can speak a little bit of Korean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't play on the Korean like voice pack or anything. I play on the English packs.
Okay.
I can barely read.
English or Korean?
Yeah.
I'm learning. So
All right. Well,
it might be a bit doomed.
I think we're screwed. Let's play the first voice line. Are you guys ready to listen? I don't know where the sound is even going to play from.
We might need our speakers turned up.
놀고 싶다면 어딘 놀아주지.
I feel like all the dudes are going to sound like Yoru.
I was gonna say it. Sounds
Can we play it again?
All right,
One more.
one more, but
Do you want to guess first, Clinton?
You both.
I'm gonna go
놀고
Phoenix.
싶다면 어딘 놀아주지.
Are you going with Phoenix?
Phoenix. I'm going Phoenix.
That's not correct.
It's not Phoenix.
Let's do it one more time. One more time.
Oh,
we'll
my
do it 3
God.
times.
놀고 싶다면 어딘 놀아주지.
I feel like it's either.
It says if you want to do something, but I didn't catch the second part.
Well, you know it's not Jet.
Yes.
really.
I feel like it's either Yoru or Sova, but I don't.
Let's take a guess.
Yoru?
Okay. Is that you got Phoenix, Yoru? Do you have a?
I'll go Sova. I trust you.
All right.
All right.
Watch, I'm wrong.
Well, you should never trust
It's doomed.
Professor Achilleos. Let's pull up the answer.
Who is this? It's not Breach, right?
You want to play? Let's play.
It's Chamber. Chamber doesn't exist anymore.
It's
Oh.
Chamber.
That's what
See,
you guys
I
know.
was close. I was the closest with the country because Phoenix is England.
I guess.
Oh, we're going off of geographic location and distance there.
Yes,
Honestly,
that's what
I
I'm
don't know how
going
the
for. I'm
French-
stealing the win on this
Sova's
one.
not that much further off.
That's true.
Honestly, the French would probably be a little offended you just said that.
Yeah,
I think
probably.
like the English and the French might have a problem with that.
Oh man, I stopped playing the game with Korean voice lines before Chamber was implemented, so I've never heard his voice lines in Korean.
Aha,
Well,
correct.
let's see if you get the next one.
We
now.
all lost. What do you mean? Get
Nobody won
Like, I
this.
don't know.
See, if, as long as
We're
he
all-
loses, then I win.
Yeah,
That's all that
honestly,
matters.
collective failures
we
in this.
just, as long as Seth is wrong. Okay, let's pull up the second voice clip from another agent.
어이, 나 열받았거든.
Oh,
Warbirds.
That's Neon, though.
yeah, it's. Hey, I'm.
Let's see if this is
Yeah,
correct.
Ah, I'm pissed.
Yeah, exactly.
See, I'll actually give you what the line means.
Yeah.
I don't know if that what she says in Korean.
Did
Exactly.
she say, "Hey, I'm pissed"?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
you
she
know what I
says
mean?
she says like a swear word or something, right?
Yeah, she says she's pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she says something and then like I'm pissed.
She's just like, ugh, I'm pissed.
Oh, I thought she says actual word.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't pay
Oh, that's
attention
my
enough.
player.
I
Jen
just
has
know,
bad words,
I
for
just know that
sure.
she says that. I'm gonna stop swearing now. But I
right.
know that she
You
says
almost swore
that.
once already today.
That's
we
true.
gotta bleep it out.
But yeah, I know that she says that, and then that's when she's on the enemy team. That's not her.
Yeah,
that's
when
not
she
her
pops off.
friendly team.
Right.
Yeah. So,
All right,
there you go.
let's-
I give more context than anybody.
You
I
might
think
get
they're
extra
right
credit. If you're
sometimes.
right, you'll get extra credits for that. Let's pull up the answer.
어이, I'm pissed.
It's
Hi,
like, oi,
I'm
like,
pissed.
You know.
Yeah.
So,
All right,
there
you get a
go.
point and you get half a point
Half
because
a
there's
point.
extra credit.
All right, boom. I'm ahead of Clinton. Get wrecked.
Yeah, you're at 0 points, Mr. Paper Thin.
Yeah.
Let's pull up the third agent. What's the sound?
그래.
Are you kidding me?
Did she say gre? Like as in like all right or like really like.
That's it?
One more time.
Let's do it one more time.
그래.
Yeah, that's it.
It's just
That's
gre.
all we've got.
Yeah, it just means all right.
Oh, this
basically.
is you're trolling
Well, you know what it
us.
means.
I know what
Okay.
it means.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
Any guesses?
I want to say Killjoy. I don't know why.
Killjoy?
Because it sounds like turret.
I don't think
No.
like
그래.
do any of the
그래.
do any of the the characters have like a really short, just like all right or yes, like when they.
Don't they all do?
Well,
they
yeah.
all do.
Is it Jet?
He's going
Is that
Jet.
a final answer?
I think it might be Jet.
Since someone knows, you guys can all take a guess.
I would think it's Killjoy as well, but
So
I don't know.
2
I'm not
Killjoys
sure.
and a Jet.
Jet, I don't know. I'm just thinking about her having some like really short voice lines because there's one where she just goes cool and stuff like that. So maybe
She does.
maybe that's there. I don't know.
Let's pull up the answer because you're all wrong.
Is it like
if
Sky?
it's Sky, I'm gonna be mad because I actually wanted to know Sky.
What is it?
Let's show it.
It is.
What's the word in it? What did she say?
I was gonna say Sky and then.
My second.
But what
What's the
did
real
she say?
line?
What's the play the audio?
Play the English one.
Radio.
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 All right.
See, I
It's
was
all
basically
right in
yeah.
Radio. Okay.
All right.
I don't play Sky, so.
Well, Clinton loses.
Okay. Next, it's okay. We got 2 more,
Oh,
so
and
you got
more.
2 more.
There's more?
2
Oh,
more.
I can
Three.
redeem myself.
Yes,
Oh.
to redeem
All right,
yourself.
You
we
can
got
look
this.
worse.
I got.
Okay.
Wow.
Let's pull up the next one.
That won't be hard.
저리 비켜.
That's
Okay.
Jet. That's
Jet. Jet. Jet's all
I got
thing.
it first. Those Jet.
Jet's all thing. We were tied. We were tied.
Well, okay. Let's. He did say it first. Let's pull up the answer.
Get out of my way.
Yeah.
Yep. That one's easy.
Yeah.
I'll take a half
Native.
point on that.
Native.
All right, fine.
We're
We're
tied
tied.
up.
We're tied at 1.
We're all tied
all
one.
tied.
I'll allow it.
All right.
So it all
No,
comes
you're
out of the.
You're a half point. Are you
Yeah.
a full point?
I said I'll take a half point.
Oh,
for,
you're taking one of his half points.
No,
Okay.
wait, so
Are
Clinton
you
gets
willingly
right
behind
give
me.
that
I
to
told
him?
him to give the
I'll
half.
take a half.
I'll give him
Oh,
the
So
you're
now
so
we're all
nice.
tied 1. So this
I'll tie
last
at
voice
one.
line
I think we
decides
gotta-
it all.
This is the
We
decider.
gotta check the rule book on this one.
There is
I
no
don't know
rule
if
book.
there's extra credit
There is
allowed.
We're
no
making
rule.
this up as we go. This
I
is
know
a
they're
open ball.
making up their own rules so that they can win. Okay, this is the last and final one.
It's like overtime. It makes it more exciting.
This one will determine the winner. Let's play that voice line.
한심하군. 감히 우릴 막으려 들다니.
We all know. We
all
all know who
know.
this is. We all know who
though.
this is.
Seth
Omen.
did raise his
Yeah.
hand
It's Omen,
first.
right? Yeah.
It's Omen.
Yeah.
I
I think you
forget
gotta
what
say it
this line ends up
Okay,
saying.
this will be the tiebreaker. What is the line? We
In
can play
English?
it in English. Let's play the voice line one more time. In Korean.
한심하군. 감히 우릴 막으려 들다니.
I think that's the. I am the beginning. I am the end. Maybe?
I'll trust you on that one. I'm actually not sure. I don't remember what he says.
I think this is, and I don't know if to differentiate between like the Korean translation, English. It's something I want to say the one about who will you cry for when you die?
Oh, yeah.
It's one of those spawn-in ones.
Yeah.
So.
Let's play the English.
Who will they cry for once they know they're going to die?
Close enough.
Close enough.
Close enough.
Close enough.
I am the champion.
I feel like, sure. Did you guys agree? We're gonna do just this is a democracy.
I mean, I don't want him to win, so no, but it's up to
Okay,
Warbird.
so majority
Doesn't
says.
matter.
I got the translation.
Doesn't matter to me. Okay.
Okay. Anyway, he's I guess kind of the winner, but like by a slim margin. We'll play this again next week and
I
see
win
where
nothing,
his
it's
personal
fine.
standing
no real
is.
prize here.
That was fun. I've never actually heard the lines in Korean before, so that was pretty cool.
Very different.
All right. We have a couple questions for you since you are our special guest for today. Let's talk.
Yeah.
Clinton, you had a question.
Yeah, I think like the thing I want to know is like a lot of us going from like last year to this year with Team Secret. Like last year was pretty disappointing. You come into the team this year. Like, what to you is the biggest change? Because I think a lot of people would say that this team is greatly improved beyond just the 2 new players.
Yeah.
Like, what is the biggest change that you see with this team?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously the 2 new players are like, in my opinion, like big upgrades. And I mean, Envy has definitely like, he has really popped off and he's really improved over the past like few months even. At least like since I have started working with them. And then, yeah, I mean, at least when I joined, it was just about like adding the fundamentals and the structure. I think that's, in all honesty, I think like the fundamentals is what like APAC is like lacking. You have teams that like might lean more into like, oh, like these crazy, like Paper X likes to lean more into like the chaos. And like that's a different skill set of like controlling chaos and like thriving in chaos. But I also think like, just in general, like the fundamentals, in my opinion, in NA and EU are like higher. So that's just something that we've been working on, is like just getting our fundamentals up. Like we don't need crazy strats, we don't need crazy comps. Just like play good fundamental Valorant.
When you joined, I'm curious because obviously like you got a couple players on there that are older than you.
Yeah.
You're joining this roster as an American coming into a Filipino lineup. How long did it take for you to really get acclimated with all of the guys before you felt super comfortable making like overarching changes, or saying like, oh, you've been approaching this the wrong way, or that kind of thing? Was there like a big adjustment period?
Honestly, not really. I mean, like I had my like week-long tryout, and like literally the first day I just felt like it clicked really well. I felt really comfortable in the team. I could give my feedback and they would kind of absorb it and like talk about it and like make their own adjustments as well as my own. So I think a lot of it is just having the faith in each other. Like I don't speak, my Tagalog is not good.
Sure.
So
The maturity of the roster.
yeah, but like exactly, like I have the trust that they can like have their own discussion and like have us come to the same conclusion is like the biggest thing.
And then when was, if I'm not mistaken, did you guys meet in Brazil? Was that the first time?
That was the first time I met them in person.
How was that, like, finally going from like, oh, we've been talking on disc and maybe a couple like video calls or something like that during your trial period? Like, how was it, being like, you guys in Warver? It's like
I was really nervous. I'm a pretty like shy person in general. So like getting out of your shell is something that I'm like working on. But like, yeah, I mean it like once I kind of made that first step, I think it was like pretty easy and like getting comfortable with everyone. But yeah, I mean.
If anyone can help you with that, it's those boys.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
We've seen the adobo dance. It's like,
exactly.
So we have a few more weeks before we go into Super Week. Super Week is where each of the teams play each other twice. So you'll be facing off some of the teams that you've already faced off against. Now with something in the mix for Paper Rex, because Paper Rex Team Secret was a big game that we were looking forward to last week. Do you think that'll make much of a difference facing them off?
Yeah, I mean, I think something is like a really like insane player. He had like plus, what was it? He had like plus 120 kills like in his, because he played in the Japanese league.
Yeah.
Like,
well, he had like plus 62 in one match, and then before that he had like plus 49.
Yeah, exactly. Like his fragging power is like really high up. They're still gonna have like the same issues of like, okay, like if the fragging is off, then like where do you go from there? But I think in general like it's a step up. But yeah, I think we'll have to see. Like I think for them, like I would be very surprised if they miss playoffs. I think everyone can say the same thing for them. But yeah, like I think in general it's a good improvement, and like just his fragging power is just crazy. Like that's what he brings to the table, and that's for a team that they rely on the frags. So.
And next week, we're going to have another 3 days, a lot of big games coming up next week. Let's talk about that, and which ones are you guys excited for?
I mean, as we get the graphic up here, the next week's matches.
There's Paper X and DRX.
Exactly. I was going to say, we're already talking about Paper X. That is by far going to be, I think, the most exciting matchup, and it's right at the top of the week. First match on Saturday, so maybe a bit easier for some of the like West Coast, audience and whatnot. East Coast, it's like 4 in the morning. So
yeah, I
don't know about that second match.
Yeah, I mean T1 versus Gen G, I think will also be a good one. Because like
That'll be really good.
T1, it feels like they're kind of like not coin flippy, but like it feels like sometimes they look really good and sometimes they struggle.
Yeah,
and like Gen G is just always like consistent. So like if T1 like is playing well that day, I think that'll be a close match. And obviously like a lot of this is just like region versus region.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited for Zeta versus DFM, but I'm worried for Zeta. Like if they kind of stumble in that match at all, then I have like huge concerns that they're going to make it to playoffs.
It has really big implications, that one, because if DFM does come out and they get their first win and they take down
That might
Zeta,
knock Zeta out.
they could inadvertently stop Zeta from being able to make it in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or, I mean, at the very least, they could assist in putting them in a worse position for the playoffs, give them that lower seed. I'm actually also really interested in seeing Global versus Talon. This might shock some people, given how I was reacting earlier yesterday. But
someone gets their first win.
Somebody gets their first win, much like we had with RQ versus DFM before. But also because I do believe that Talon, despite how painful it was to go through that split map, were just hiding strategies. and I'm curious to see what they do look like going up against Global, because they realize that Global is not a team that they can mess around with. As you were saying before, they feel like a team that can do a lot better. We know that they can. We've seen them push teams that are, like DRX to the limit. So I'm curious to see what Talon does bring to the table in that matchup, and if at the end it'll all be worth it. But I mean, obviously, one of the ones when we're not talking about kind of dancing around is your guys' matchup.
I just said that one would be very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, well, RRQ's just got.
I'm trying to tiptoe my way around because we are friends with them, but like.
Do you have any words for your opponents next week?
You can stare straight into the camera.
Make eye contact.
Oh man, like, I think it'll be a quick duo. Like, I think they have potential, but yeah, I mean, we scrimmed them also like going into Brazil, and like, I don't know, it just felt like we always had their number. Like whether or not like that's in us, like us being good, or like where we kind of like compare to them, but we've always kind of just had their number. But like obviously like they've always been not like Paper X like weird comps, but like they've had some interesting comps. They had the Rain on Lotus. That was actually something we talked about during our media day. Is like, please tell me you guys are playing that before.
Evan looked good on Reyna. I wouldn't actually mind it if they feel like they need like just that.
Versus us,
that
they did not look good.
What's been super fascinating is that these matchups have been decided weeks ago, actually, and the way it's been playing out week by week, it's almost. But say for the RRQ Team Secret matchup, all the teams are quite evenly matched for next week. And I guess I want to re-highlight T1 and Gen G again. So while DRX and Paper X is a big one, the T1 Gen G face-off, the Korean battle, I think that'll be super interesting.
I mean, one of the things that King talked about in his winner's interview there on the English broadcast was we just took down T1 in the LCK to be the spring champions.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
There's no way we could beat Gen G when they just did that.
Right, yeah.
It's not fair.
It's true. They have that buff.
They saw that trophy come into the Gen G office, and it just like
the Riot Games buff is real, because the two matches that T1 picked up, it was also on days that their LCK team got victories and got themselves into first place in the playoffs.
Oh my God.
Well, now it's over. Now that buff is done.
It's not fair.
This is the last chance for it.
That's true. It's sort of like that sibling buff when like the older sibling comes in with like the big trophy.
Unless our playoffs happen around the same time as MSI.
Oh.
Because T1 and Gen G are both going to MSI.
I think it does. Wait, or is it Masters? When is MSI? June? I don't know. It's possible.
it might be
at
in
some
May.
point there will be another like crossover.
I don't know. All I know is NA's doomed. Because I used to be in the league. I used to coach League of Legends. So
really?
Yeah. So like, it's just year after year of disappointment.
This is applied for Valorant.
It's a good idea to shift over here.
Is NA doomed for Valorant?
No. I mean, they're struggling right now. Like, I have friends that are in North American Valorant. Like, but right now they're struggling. But like, I think they'll be able to put it together. Like, you look at the rosters. Like, even like Sentinels. Like, Sentinels on paper are like such a star-studded roster.
Crazy good. Sure.
And like, I trust Saika. Like, they'll figure it. Yep.
So. If nothing else, there's NRG.
True energy. Yeah.
We've got Diet Optic. So.
Oh yeah.
All right. With that, thank you so much, Warbirds, for joining our weekly recap. You're our very first guest.
Nice.
Thanks for joining us.
You set the bar pretty high.
Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Please come back every week if we can have
I'll
you.
come back as long as my buddy Alma Putty can come on.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So that's the condition.
We can
All
zoom
right.
out on the camera. We'll work another chair up here. It'll be good.
Share, cozy up. It'll be fine. So thanks so much. For those of you guys who are tuning in, if you have any comments, remember to hashtag VCT Pacific with any of your comments. We might feature it here on the weekly recap. I'm Victoria, and with me, we've got Paper Thin, Achilleos, and Warbirds, the coach of Team Secret. I'll see you guys again next week.
Bye.
Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are around the world. Thank you for tuning in, and welcome to the VCT Face-Off. It's going to be a fun day with plenty of familiar faces as you get to look at all of your favorite players and all of your favorite teams here in the Pacific League. If my face isn't that familiar, then hello, I am Seth Achilleos King, formerly a caster of VCT Korea, and I am excited to be joining the VCT Pacific English broadcast, and I'll be guiding you through today's events. I'll be your host, and speaking of which, let's go ahead and talk about what you can expect from today's stream. You'll get to hear from some of your favorite players representing each of our 10 teams here in the Pacific League as they answer media-submitted questions, as well as catching a glimmer of some APAC on APAC action before the league formally kicks off in just a couple days with some fun mini games that we have prepped for you here today. It'll be a fun display of endurance, competitive spirit, and skill. However, before we meet the players, let's go ahead and meet the head of Valorant Esports in APAC, Jake Sin. All right, so of course, thank you so much for joining us here today. Jake, do you want to introduce yourself for everybody?
Of course. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Jake Sin, head of Valorant Esports APAC at Riot Games. I've been working on Valorant Esports since the launch of the game in 2020, and I'm super stoked to be here to talk about the launch of VCT Pacific just before the season starts this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, last year, Riot made the announcement that we were going to be moving into the format that we find ourselves in today, and it's just been drumming up an immense amount of excitement. But can you briefly walk us through the structure of the new international leagues and the reason why we've landed on this format?
Absolutely. As with anything at Riot Games, we always start with our fans first and what they want to see more of. In the last 3 years, we saw the community and fandom around VCT grow beyond our wildest imagination, allowing us to dream bigger and push our boundaries. So we wanted to cater to the ever-growing fan appetite for more consistent, week-over-week competition on LAN, featuring the best rosters from across the globe, showcasing peak Valorant action. To accomplish this, we're launching 3 brand new international leagues covering Asia Pacific, Americas, and EMEA. Each league will feature the best teams from their respective regions, competing against one another in each hub city over 10 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the international structure, everything that we've seen, it's been really exciting. We had Sao Paulo to kind of get people rallied up, get them a little bit of a taste. But I think that overall we're going to see an immense raise in the competition for each and every region. And as you go over to those international competitions, what with Tokyo on the horizon, champions at the end of the year, it feels like all of this is just really setting up to raise the bar of competition globally in 2023.
Exactly, Seth. And to build this new layer of competition, it was important to combine powers with the most capable esports organizations in the world, providing them with financial and operational stability in our ecosystem. That's why we've selected 10 teams for VCT Pacific as our long-term partners, and they're just as committed as we are to build the future of the sport together.
I mean, since you kind of touched on that, I think that a lot of people would be interested to know, like, what are some of the criteria that you were looking for when selecting these long-term partnership orgs?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there are some factors which were considered for all 3 leagues, and some factors which were unique to VCT Pacific. I'll start with the universal ones. Again, it's all about the fans here at Riot. We wanted to work with teams who are exceptional at forging deep connections with the fans through engaging content, a compelling brand, and exciting personalities. Second, we looked for the ability to build world-class teams. At the end of the day, we are a sports league, so we have to be able to showcase the highest level of competition for our fans. The last requirement was a long-term commitment towards sustainability. We're building a sport for the long haul, and we wanted to partner with teams who are seriously committed to that goal and have solid plans to get there. Now, what's unique about VCT Pacific is that we have the greatest diversity of national identities in our teams, and we wanted to really double down on that. So instead of creating a melting pot of 10 generic APAC teams, we wanted to select teams with distinct local flavors and local fandom. That's how we landed on these 10 amazing orgs representing Japan, Korea, Thailand, Indonesia, the Philippines, India, and homegrown talent is found and nurtured. And our goal with challengers is to provide higher levels of organized competition for up-and-coming stars in local regions. We've already kicked off 10 challengers leagues across APAC since earlier this year. And instead of a direct path towards global events like last year, Now, the winners of Challengers will get a slot to a new international tournament called Ascension. There, they will fight to earn a slot for promotion into the Pacific League.
And I think that the excitement already, even though we're quite a ways away from that Ascension tournament, has already been drummed up quite a bit. We're seeing some crazy viewership numbers. Japan's crushing it right now with their own league as well. So I think that everyone's going to have their eyes trained on who is going to be able to make it through that Ascension tournament and end up joining the Pacific League at the end of it all. So we've spoken about how the international leagues raise the competitiveness overall, but what else can we expect to see here in this upgraded VCT that we haven't gone over yet?
Yeah, I think we can answer that question in two parts. So for our fans, they'll be able to see their favorite teams play against the best of the best on LAN for weeks on end. Not only that, but they'll also be pampered with a wealth of extra content around their favorite superstars, and they can also now discover new international rivalries, catch all the action on best-in-class broadcast, dare I say, and attend premium in-person events. We're going to be really firing on all cylinders here to over-deliver for our fans. And for our teams, we're going to work closely with them as they invest in developing their pros and growing their fan bases locally and globally. In the long run, we are committed to ensuring our teams can thrive and build their businesses alongside the overall growth of VCT.
All right, well, final question. This might be a little bit challenging, but who do you think at the end of the league this year will come out looking like the best player in APAC?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
So many names do come to my mind right now, but I'm gonna put on my Riot hat here and just drop my Korean bias for a second.
Oh, hey, good idea.
So I've actually got to give it to Jesse Bash from Team Secret, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
He's the oldest player in our league, and therefore he's the closest to my age.
I see.
He's actually as old as my younger brother. So, and watching him play and make those big brain plays, makes me have false hope.
Makes you think you can do it as well.
I could be somehow good at the game eventually. So, I've got to give it to Jesse Bash.
Okay, well, now I do have an actual final question, I guess, and since you're the one bringing it up, what is your rank? In front of all of these pros, what is your rank?
Oh, man, I'm embarrassed. Putting me on the spot, man. I'm just hard stuck in Diamond.
There you have it. The head of esports APAC, hard stuck in Diamond. It's okay. I'm right there with you. So we'll have to just do it together. We'll be able to climb, and soon we'll be sitting in their seats, and maybe they can take our positions at some point. But thank you so much, Jake. That's great. In the spirit of competition, our competing VCT Pacific teams will face off against their one-week opponents on this very stage. Before we do that, let's go ahead and give a round of applause for Jake Sin. Thank you so much for joining me on stage. And before we do bring the players up here and have them face off against one another, let's go ahead and roll our format explainer video just in case you're not up to snuff with how Pacific is going to operate.
Hello VCT fans, VCT Pacific is finally here. As we launch this new layer to Valorant Esports, we're making some very exciting changes to our 2023 format that will bring our competition and entertainment to a whole new level. Without further ado, let's get into it. VCT Pacific 2023 will consist of 10 teams from across Asia Pacific, Global Esports from South Asia, Talon Esports from Thailand, PaperRex from Malaysia and Singapore, RRQ from Indonesia, Team Secret from Philippines, Detonation Focus Me and Zeta Division from Japan, and DRX, Gen.G, and T1 from Korea. These 10 teams will battle it out to be the very first to lift the VCT Pacific Trophy in Seoul, South Korea. League play will be a best-of-3 single round robin over 8 weeks. From March 25th, VCT Pacific will be live on every Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. League play will be capped off with a Super Week, where we will have 5 consecutive days of matches to finalize the top teams that will advance to the playoffs. During playoffs, the top 6 teams from League Play will compete in a double elimination bracket across 6 days. All matches will be best of 3, except the lower finals and grand finals, which will both be best of 5. The top 3 teams from VCT Pacific playoffs will earn a spot for Masters Tokyo. After Masters, VCT Pacific teams will once again compete for the final ticket to Champions during the last chance qualifiers. The LCQ will give Pacific teams that did not auto-qualify into Champions one last opportunity to make it to the biggest stage in Valorant Esports. Good luck to all the Pacific teams. We're so excited to bring VCT Pacific's aces, clutches, and thrifties to your screens. We'll see you there.
We'll see you there. Indeed, thank you very much, Chobra, for lending your voice to that video. So now that we know what we can expect from the format of Pacific, it is time to welcome the groups up on stage to fist bump, shake hands, whatever they're going to do for the first time against their opening week opponents. So we're going to start things off with, of course, DRX with their players Stax, RB, Zest, Buzz, Mako, Foxy9, of course, their coach Termi as well. Everyone knows and loves DRX. We have seen these guys at pretty much every international event, other than one. But while you guys have been attending events, it's been nothing but consistent results, top 6 finishes, as well as some top 4 finishes in the last 2 tournaments. Now their opponents as well, no strangers to having some high finishes in international events either. It's going to be Zeta Division with their players of Laz, Crow, Sugar Zero, 10, Bars, their coaches XQQ, as well as Junior. Now you will notice that Depp, unfortunately, is not with us here today, but he will be here and competing in the league very, very soon. So do not worry, Zeta fans. Plenty to still look forward to. Now, of course, Zeta looking to go ahead and reach those heights that we saw from them last year at Masters Reykjavik, where they finished in the top 3. Gentlemen, fist bumps and handshakes. Now that's our first matchup, but we still have plenty more to get through for this opening week. In our second one, we'll be kicking things off with one of the newer faces here in global esports with their new roster. So we'll go ahead and bring up the players that we've got. We've got Aaron, we've got Texture, Bazzi, Ronsky, Monye, and their coaches Eraser, Spin, and Big Time here right now in Korea. Obviously, some of the players are not here with us quite just yet, but again, we will have them very soon, so do not fear. SK Rossi will be here. Hello, India, GE Fighting. And we'll get to see them take to the stage. Now, obviously, global esports, while new, I mean, everyone's new to this league, but newly here in South Korea, but is a very familiar face, dominating over in India and consistently making appearances in the VCT APAC scene. They find themselves going up against a powerhouse Korean organization, though, for their first matchup in T1. So we'll go ahead and bring them up now. Starting with Zeta, Munchkin, Ban, Saya player, Carpe, Intro, as well as their coaches, Autumn and Stunner. Now, obviously, formerly an organization that was competing in North America, they now find themselves back in APAC for the first time since First Strike in 2020. It's good to see T1 back here on home soil. They've already staked their claim as the first place team in the LCK in League of Legends. Now they're going to be looking to do much the same here in Valorant. We'll have to just wait and see if GE can stand in their way. Those are our first 2 matches now. Let's go ahead and take a look at our third, starting with some very familiar and fan favorite players in the side of Paper Rex. We've got Mind Freak, Forsaken, Benkai, Davai, Jing, and CGRS here alongside their coach Alex, making their way to the stage. Now, obviously, a second place finish at Masters Copenhagen. Absolutely incredible, and still the highest performance that we have had from one of the APAC teams at our international events. So we're hoping that Paper Rex is going to be able to put up similar performances to that here in the Pacific League. But first, they have to go through their opponents in Detonation Focus Me with their players of Suggest, Reita, Zenfree, Anthem, Soldam, Takaje, and their coaches HSK and Melophobia. Obviously, we got to see a glimpse of you guys in the off-season playing in Japan. Unfortunately, not Suggest you were sick, but it's good that you're not feeling sick anymore. But also in Sao Paulo, one of the first times that we got to see this full 5-man core playing on stage together. Now, I'm hoping that we just continue to see some upward growth for both of these organizations, for all of these organizations in the league, to just continue to raise the level of competition. And now getting to our second to last matchup of the opening week, we have a team that kind of took the world by storm and I think captured a lot of fans' hearts over at Lock-In. It is, of course, Talon with their lineup of Cruz, Fox, Sushi Boys, Patty, as well as Garnets, Jit Boys, and Zeus. And this team making it into the top 8 with relative ease, I might add. Looking damn impressive considering the fact that they've got 2 younger players here joining in for the first time and also pushing DRX to the very limits, nearly knocking them out of the tournament and taking a top 4 spot for themselves. So a lot of expectations, a lot of hype surrounding these guys, but much could be said, much the same could be said about the team that they have to face off against. It's a much more known quantity with 3 hardened veterans in Team Secret with Jesse, Vash, Dubstep, as well as Borkum there as the vets, with Jeremy, Envy, and Lenny joining in as the new prospects for the team. This is a team that obviously we saw take down Team Liquid, which was a very hyped up EMEA team over in Sao Paulo, but aside from that, also had been able to make it out of the group stage during the first champions all the way back in 2021. So the age clearly does not matter when it comes down to these guys. The reflexes is still very much working. So I'm really excited in particular to watch these guys square off. All right, and finally, our last matchup of the opening week is our final Korean representative, a new org here over in Korea in Gen G, new one for Valorant, I should say, with Meteor, King, TS, Eco, Goddead, as well as Sylvan, and our coaches, Vile, as well as Elma Putty. And I think that this comes in as one of the more hyped up rosters right now, given that you have Meteor from North Eption, who is able to have an immense amount of impact, the core from Onslayers joining in. So I'm excited to see what they're going to be able to do and whether or not, much like we were saying for T1, they'll be able to establish as much of a foothold as we see them do in the LCK. Their opponents on the opposite side of the arena that day are going to be RRQ with 2GE, Emin, EJ, Zephyro, Flipscheider, Elmimore, as well as their coaches Ewok and YB, their analyst. Obviously, we got to see a good little start there for the side of RRQ over in Sao Paulo. But this is, if you do not know, one of the most watched organizations, a huge amount of following over in Indonesia, particularly in mobile esports, where they compete in a numerous amount of titles. So curious to see how the growth is going to go this year and how they're going to be faring here in FPS on PC with Valorant. All right, so now we've seen all of the players there. We've gotten through the initial matchups, but before we can hear from them directly here on this stage, we do have a pre-recorded segment for you. We're calling this one the Spicy Clutch Challenge. It's going to be a food interview where we sit down 2 players from opposing teams that are going to be battling in that opening week. They're going to be trying different spicy foods from all around APAC while answering questions to see whether or not they're going to be able to get through and speak through all that spice in their mouth. So let's go ahead and jump into the video.
안녕하세요. What's up? 가위바위보. 어? I got sushi, man. 너무 쉬운데? 저거 더블. If you want to try, bro. If you want, you can go home.
DRX
also.
They have been like the most consistent team and
The #1 rival for us Asian teams, I think.
제타가 상대하기 제일 까다로운 팀은 오히려 저희보다는 약간 글로벌 e스포츠 쪽이 아닐까 생각을 하는데 글로벌 e스포츠 선수들은 제 눈으로 봤을 때는 샷이 엄청 날카로워요. 플레이에도 변수가 되게 많은 선수들이다 보니까 아마 뭘 할지 예상을 못 해가지고 좀 많이 당할 것 같은 그런 느낌이 들어가지고
DRX の強敵は BRX じゃないですか。何してくるか分かんないんで。
The biggest challenge for T1 is going to be us, the first game. And Intro's a new player on the team, so I think they're going to take a lot of time to adjust, and I think it's going to be a good match for us.
G의 경쟁팀? 일단은 저희가 G 상대로 첫 번째로 상대하는 팀이기도 하고 아마 T1? 이라고 생각을 합니다. 근데 아마도 저희가 좀 쉽게 이기지 않을까 라인업상으로 생각을 해봤을 때 사실 뭐 꿀릴 것도 없고 오히려 저희가 좀 좋은 경기력으로 이기지 않을까 싶습니다. 네.
Big spin, you ready?
Yeah.
Shrimp?
뭐야?
아니 안 매운 거 뽑았잖아요. 매운 거만 있다면서요.
아 운이 너무 좋은데?
정말 한 입만 주면 안 돼요?
Aside from me and him are the best. I mean, if you are part of something big like this Pacific League, you should have the confidence to say that you are one of the best.
I'm having a moment here. PLX のジン、コペンハーゲンのスタッツがずば抜けてやばかったんで。
I have like two in mind right now. It's Marco and Forsaken.
Oh, yeah.
For Marco, it's because in DRX he has like really big impact. He's always alive, never like dead first, and he clutches a lot, and he just plays every situation out really well. Another one of my pick is Forsaken because I think he's just insane in every agent. Yeah.
Jason Susanto.
Yes, Jason Susanto.
Yeah.
It would be Forsaken because I play against him. I feel like he's the most talented in Pacific. He has sharp aim and his game sense is really good.
I think RV right now, his agent pick pool, I think is massive. He can play every single role. And I think his Neon is really good. I think it's textbook Neon.
저희 팀에 있다 생각해요. 저희 팀에 아직 꺼내지 않은 카드가 있죠. 이제 폭시나인 정재성 선수가 있는데 사실 퍼시픽 리그 하기 전에 락인 대회가 있었는데 락인에서 폭시나인 선수가 정재성 선수가 저희가 없던 이제 폭발적인 이제 에임도 가지고 있고 센스도 가지고 있기 때문에 좀 많이 기대해 주셔도 되는데 퍼시픽 리그에서 날아다닐 수도 있다고 생각을 해요.
I'd say Intro is a player that I've watched a lot when we were picking up players as well, and I see no reason why his career shouldn't be good. After we destroy them, of course.
Oh, what did you get?
Looks like sushi or something. I don't know.
I actually don't like kimbap.
What the hell is that?
이거는 좀 아닌 것 같아요. 음식 맞아요? 아이. Oh shit.
You have to finish it.
Oh,
it's a rule, yeah. Yeah.
I think the toughest lesson is learning how to like cope with losses because fans and everyone have really high expectations of your team or like yourself.
I think the toughest lesson for me is that hard work doesn't always pay off. A lot of esports players, they work really hard, spend countless hours like reviewing VODs and stuff, and you don't always get to win. 今までなんかちょっと別のゲームのプロ結構やってたんですけど、全然練習時間それと比べたらバロラントの方がそれが疲れるし大変だなって感じます。最近だと6位負けてからは12時間ぐらいはみんなで何かしらやってます。オンラインでやってるんで、結構やってます。
No matter what you do, how good you are at it, there's gotta be someone that doesn't like you. Maybe they don't like my face, my hair, or something, you know? So I learned to not respond to them at all. It applies to everything in life.
발로란트가 제 인생에서 시작한 첫 프로를 시작한 게임이긴 해요. 그러다 보니까 그 처음 배우는 분도 굉장히 중요했는데 저한테는 첫 감독님이 저한테 해주셨던 말이 열심히 안 할 거면은 때려쳐라. 그 감독님이 해주셨던 말 덕분인지 지금 이 자리까지 오게 된 것 같기도 하고 약간 그런 마인드 계속 갖고 쭉 이어나갈 것 같아요.
When you like practice for the whole series, like example, RRQ practice like 2-3 months before login, then in the event we don't show how our practice looks like, then it's like our 3 months wasted just by one BO3 and that's it. I just take it as my experience. Be careful.
너무 약한 모습 보여주는데 지금 이제 시작이라고 말씀드리고 싶네요.
I would not say you're old, but in Champions 2021, people been doubting your team. An old team, how can you compete with a youngsters, you know? And I don't believe that because people tend to believe that the younger player has a better aim, you know? Like a fast reflex or something. But I believe that the older you get, the smarter you get.
Are you crying?
Yeah, I'm crying. 전혀. 저 한국이 이렇게 매운 음식인지 몰랐어요, 저. 불닭볶음면보다 매운 것 같아요.
매운 거는 제가 그땐 맛이 아니라 이거는 근데 고통인데 또 맛있어가지고 그냥 계속 먹게 되는 그냥 고통을 즐기는 게 아닌가. 옛날엔 저도 즐겼었는데 요즘에는 잘 못하겠어요.
I think it could have been a bit more spicier.
Not much of a challenge.
You want to order more?
And there you have it. I love the budding friendship there between Patty and Jesse Fashion. So just sitting down, sharing food with each other. And I think that overall we need to raise the spicy tolerance here for a lot of our players. It looks like Aaron and Zedford, they're set, but the rest of them, they need to work on that stuff because if you're going to be living here, there's quite a many good dishes that are a bit spicy. So we'll have to work on that in the off time. But for now, let's go ahead and finally bring the players up on stage and get to hear from them. So we'll have our first 5 representatives coming up now to answer some media submitted questions. There's the words I was looking for. We have Zenfree from DFM. We've got Stax from DRX, TS from Gen G, Ban from T1, as well as Laz from Zeta Division. We'll have translators off-site to go ahead and make sure that we are getting the questions across to the players, and they'll also be interpreting their answers. So if there's a slight little delay from the time that I ask to the time that we get a response, do not panic. It is simply just the translations, making sure that they are doing their jobs accurately and properly. So we'll just go ahead and get everybody situated. Hello, thank you for joining me on stage, and let's just jump straight into it. So first question, this one's going to be for Laz on Zeta Division. This is from Nigel of One Esports. He says, Masters is going to be held in Tokyo this year. How does that impact Zeta Division at VCT Pacific? Do you feel added pressure because of this?
e スポーツのナイジェルさんからの質問です。次のマスターズは東京で開催されますが、VCT パシフィックでのゼータにどのような影響があると思いますか？プレッシャーなど感じますか？
まあそうですね、基本的にあんまり影響ないとは思ってます。開催地がどこであれ自分たちがやることは変わらないので、ただまあ日本で、せっかく世界大会を開いてくれて、日本チームが出るか出ないかっていうの結構大事だと思ってるので、もし負けたらとか考えたら確かにちょっとプレッシャーにはなるかもしれないですね。
Yes, but I don't think it wouldn't affect us that much because it doesn't really matter where we play the game. But Masters being in Japan is very important for us, and I think Japanese team being there is also important. So I might feel a little pressured.
Hopefully, don't let that get to you. I think it's a good mindset to be in, saying, it doesn't matter where we play. We're just going to give it our all. This one's going to go over for Stax here from Dan of KJC Esports. After your incredible performance at VCT Lock-In, what do you think could have been improved now in hindsight looking back at it? And will we see those improvements implemented already as the Pacific League starts?
VCT 럭인에서 뛰어난 성적을 보여주셨습니다. 이제 앞을 바라보시며 팀의 어떤 부분이 더 개선되어야 한다고 생각하시나요? 그리고 그 향상된 부분을 VCT 퍼시픽 리그에서 기대할 수 있을까요?
그냥 개인 기량을 더 연습해야 될 것 같다고 생각을 했고요. 그리고 딱히 뭐 생각드는 건 없고 브라질에서 엄청 많이 연습을 해가지고 그거 그대로 퍼시픽에서 보여주면 될 것 같아요.
I think what we need to improve on is more based on our individual skills. We learned a lot in Brazil, and I think I'm confident that we can show you these improvements in VCT Pacific.
We'll have to just wait and see. Next one is for TS here, Gen G, coming from Ganesh of Strafe.com. Yes, what can we expect from the Tiger Nation this year, and where do you rank yourselves currently?
젠지라는 팀으로부터 시청자들이 어떤 모습을 기대하면 될지, 그리고 다른 팀들과 비교했을 때 현재 젠지의 경쟁력은 어느 정도라고 생각하시는지 궁금합니다.
새로운 선수가 들어온 만큼 피지컬적으로 엄청 올라왔다고 생각하고 경쟁력은 일단 저희는 무조건 순위권 안에 든다고 생각합니다.
after signing our new players, I think our mechanical prowess has definitely increased. And in terms of where we think we rank among the Pacific teams, I think we're definitely among the top tier teams.
Okay, time will tell. We'll have to just wait and see. Next one here for Zenfree. This is going to be from Ardash of Sportskita asking, how much do you think that you guys have improved since VCT lock-in? Obviously, we only got to see a single match from you guys, and how confident are you in facing one of the best teams in the Pacific League for your opening match?
Based on our experience at lock-in, we made quite a bit of changes within our team, which I think really helped us improve. And regarding our opponent, I think that we have a good shot since they don't have any information about us as of now. And yeah, I hope we can do well.
And just try to catch them by surprise.
Yeah.
All right, ace up the sleeve. We'll have to just wait and see if it works out. Next one's going to be for a ban here from Nigel of One Esports, asking, what are the advantages you have as a pro who's moving from North America to the Pacific region?
I think more than individual, on a team level, I think in North America when we were scrimming, we practiced a lot on fundamentals. And after we came to Pacific, we practiced more into our strats and more in detail.
All right. Next one, we're going to go back over to Laz now. This is from Abhipsito of Sportskita. Apologies if I butcher the ever-loving hell out of your name, but hopefully I got it right. They ask, DRX was the most successful Asian team at the Valorant lock-in. How confident do you feel going up against them in your opening match?
スポーツキーダのアブヒプシトさんからの質問です。VCT ロックインで一番の成功を収めたアジアのチームは DRX でした。初戦で対戦するにあたって自信のほどはいかがでしょうか？
そうですね、まあ、ロックインに限らず DRX が、素晴らしいチームっていうのは、皆さんご存知の通りで、すごくタフなゲームになるとは思ってますが、試合をするにあたって、自分たちに何て言うんだろう、自信を持ってプレーすることには変わりありません。
It's not just lock-in. We all know that DRX is an amazing team. It will be a tough game, but going into the match, we should play confidently.
I can imagine if you manage to take them down right off the rip, that's going to be a really good sign for being able to make it to Tokyo. So we'll have to just wait and see what happens. Now, for TS, this is from Ganesh of Strafe.com, saying your team gave Loud a very hard time in your matchup over at Lock-in, but eventually you did lose that match, and it was the opening game, so we didn't get to see more of Gen G. Can you break down a little bit, what you think might have gone wrong in that match?
젠지는 라우드가 힘든 경기를 펼치도록 좋은 모습을 보여줬지만 결국 패배했는데 어떤 부분들이 잘 안 됐는지 설명해 주실 수 있을까요?
가장 큰 문제는 커뮤니케이션이 잘 안 됐다는 게 제일 큰 문제점이었고 그 다음에는 개인 기량이 부족하지 않았나 생각하고 있습니다.
I think the biggest problem was the breakdown in our communication. I don't think our communication went very well. And aside from that, I think we just lacked individual skill.
Okay, hopefully something rectified. Now, I already talked to Laz kind of about this topic, so Stax will now come to you. This is a question from Sarakshi of AFK Gaming, saying you're taking on Zeta Division in the opening match of the, not just, for you, but for the whole league. What do you think are some of the strengths that Zeta Division has, some things that you need to, be worried about?
DRX는 VCT 퍼시픽 리그 개막전에서 제타 디비전을 상대하십니다. 스택스 선수는 제타 디비전의 강점이 무엇이 있다고 생각하시나요?
일단 제타 디비전이 5명 저희랑 똑같이 이제 멤버가 안 바뀐 팀 중에 한 명이라고 저는 생각을 하는데 그게 좀 강점이 될 것 같기도 하고 그리고 저는 일본에서는 제타가 좀 굉장히 세다라고 생각하기 때문에 그게 조금 많이 무섭네요.
I think Zeta Division's strengths are their players. They kept the same roster as just like us. They have a familiar roster, so their teamwork is already great. They are a proven team from Japan, and the players are all individually talented.
Good answer. Now, this one I think a lot of people are waiting to kind of get an answer from. So this one's going over to Ban. This is from Ardash of Sportskita, asking, Carpe is still a relatively new professional Valorant player. How much do you think he's improved since joining T1 in terms of adjusting to the team structure as well as expanding his agent pool?
In my opinion, the amount of improvements that he's had over the past couple months, it's pretty crazy. I think as the time passes, he'll improve more, and he's expanding his agent pool more. So it'll be good to look at.
All right, it was already good to look at when we were over in Sao Paulo. So, if it's continued to go from there, I think it's going to be very damn good to see. Zenfree, this one's coming to you here from Ren of Esports World, saying all Japanese fans are looking forward to seeing a Japanese team appearing at Masters Tokyo. are you enthusiastic about that prospect? Does it really drive you to want to do better so that you can perform in front of that crowd?
Yes, of course. This is the best moment, I think, for us Japanese players to give back to the Valorant community back in Japan, giving back to the fans. So I'm really hoping that we can qualify and show them, show ourselves at the event.
All right. Back over to TS. This is from Hwanli of Valo2 Asia, asking, how do you feel the player base in Korea is right now, given that the game has just been seeing this increase in popularity as of late?
한국에서 발로란트의 인기가 상승하고 있는 현 시점에서 한국의 선수층을 어떻게 평가하시나요?
아시아 쪽에서 한국 선수들을 많이 사용하고 있는 걸 보면 저희 선수층은 매우 유망주가 많다고 생각합니다. 네.
Given that a lot of teams in Asia have signed Korean players, I think that Korea has a lot of talented up and coming players.
All right, we'll have to see if some of those younger talents that are right now grinding on the ladder will be able to make it their way in, especially once we have the Premier Leagues and everything come out. So we'll see who manages to come up from the ashes. But back over to Laz, this is from Sakutaro of GameSpark, saying, in your opinion, what are some of the things, I guess some of the qualities that a team needs in order to qualify for Masters Tokyo?
ゲームスパークのサクタロさんからの質問です。マスターズ東京への参加資格を得るためにチームに必要なものとは何だと思いますか？ラズさんのご意見をお聞かせください。
はい、そうですね、去年の、経験も踏まえて自分たちの壁になっていたものを取り除くために、チーム内で大きな変更があったので、特に今もうこれ以上に何かを変えなきゃいけないみたいなのはないですね。みんな今まで通り集中して取り組んでくれればきっと勝てるようになると思ってます。で具体的に何が変わったかっていうのは多分試合を見ればすぐ分かるのでお楽しみに。
From our last year's experience and the wall we experienced, the walls we had to overcome, we made a lot of changes within the team. And then with these changes, if we just focus as a team and then practice more, and I think we don't have to make any more changes from here. For the details of the changes we've made within the team, just watch our match and then you'll see. So stay tuned in.
All right. Back over to Ban now. This is from Kunal of esportstoday.com. How do you feel about the current Valorant meta with the double initiators? And if you could, what would you change about the meta?
I think the meta is already changing to like using harbor and specific agents, but if I were to change it, it'd probably be double duelist meta.
Double duelist meta? All right. Probably like dive in Overwatch as well. Just all that aggression coming through. All right, well, over to Stacks. How do you expect, this is from XC of Esports Inquirer, how do you expect DRX to perform against the other Pacific teams? I think I can guess what you're going to say, but maybe you'll surprise me.
이제 다른 퍼시픽 팀들과의 승부에서 DRX는 어떤 모습을 기대할 수 있으실까요?
딱히 뭐 생각한 건 없는데 그냥 평소 하던 대로 그냥 압도하는 모습을 보여줬으면 좋겠습니다.
I haven't thought much into this answer, but I just want to show everyone that we can beat everyone without breaking a sweat.
We'll have to just wait and see. This one's for Zenfrey now from Hwanli of Valo2 Asia. What are your expectations for Pacific League just overall?
I believe that the experience that we can gain from this league, throughout this league, is massive, and I think that throughout this league we'll be able to improve drastically as a team. So I'm excited for that.
All right. For Ban, this is from Lewis of Kakuchopure, so hopefully I didn't botch that one either. But for Ban, being technically the only foreigner on the team, have you had any troubles with any sort of language barriers, is what they're asking?
Not language barriers, but I think more of culture barriers, like more difficulties than that, so.
Yeah. Okay. Do you feel like, I'll do a follow-up, do you feel like you've kind of gotten past that now?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, excellent. Over to Laz again, now, from Ren of Esports World. They say the chamber updates have changed the gaming environment, which also opens doors to more opportunities to use other Sentinels. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think he's completely out, or can we see chamber come back maybe?
チェンバーに変更が入ったことでメタが変わり、他のセンチネルが使われる機会が増えると思います。これについてどうお考えですか？チェンバーは戻ってくると思いますか？
まあロックインを見ての通りチェンパーが消えてキルジョイが増えてでそれに伴ってジェットも増えてで、まあ、メタも去年と比べて全然違うので、はい、でまあ自分たちがやることはやっぱりその時その時で一番強いメタに沿ってプレイするだけなのでそんな感じですかね、まあ、そういうゲームだと思ってます。チェンパーは帰ってきません。
Okay, as you saw at the lock-in, the Chamber went out of the meta and then Killjoy came back into the meta as well as Jet. So we have a very different meta now. All we have to do and what we do is to play according to the meta, so it doesn't really matter. And Chamber is not coming back.
Okay, apparently he's dead for good. No, time will tell on that front. Stacks, this is from Chris of Daily Spin asking, what do you guys think about RRQ right now? And do you think that they are underrated, as people have been saying?
현재 RRQ 팀에 대해서 어떻게 생각하시나요? 다른 사람들이 말하는 것처럼 저평가된 팀이라고 생각하시나요?
일단은 뭐 이름만 들어봤을 때는 확실히 모르는 선수들도 많기는 하다고 생각을 하는데 저는 다 알고는 있지만 근데 이제 락인에서 한 경기 뛰었다고 그렇게 저평가할 건 아닌 것 같고 이제 퍼시픽에서도 저는 어떻게 될지 모른다고 생각해서 경기하는 팀 중 하나라고 생각하고 그러다가 방심하다가 질 것 같은 생각을 많이 드네요 저는.
I think many people will not recognize some RRQ players, even though I know them. I don't think we should underestimate them just because of one locking game. I don't think that's smart. Everything can change in the Pacific League, and I don't think we should count them out yet.
I think it's a very smart way to go about it. Never underestimate your opponent. Over to Ben again. This is from Kunal of esportstoday.com asking, who do you think are the strongest teams in this tournament, and how do you plan to beat them?
I just wouldn't pick one team. I think every team's strong. I wouldn't underestimate anyone, but I think just like how we're working hard, every team's working hard as well, so I really wouldn't underestimate anyone.
All right. Stacks, back to you again here from Absito of Sportskita asking, players on DRX can be seen playing different roles on different maps for a while now. What additional value do you think that generates for the team compared to having specific roles played by specific players?
DRX의 선수들은 맵에 따라서 선수들이 다른 포지션을 플레이하는 모습을 보여주셨습니다. 특정 선수가 특정한 역할에만 하는 거에 대비해서 어떤 장점이 있다고 생각하시나요?
장점은 그냥 저희가 그 맵에 따른 메타를 그 맵에 맞는 메타 캐릭터를 쓸 수 있다는 게 장점인 것 같고 근데 저희는 그렇게 막 그거에 대해서 막 크게 의미를 두고 있지는 않아요.
So to be honest, we don't really think too much into it. I think if we had to choose an advantage, it's that we can kind of like use agents that are more flexible, more meta on that particular map, but I don't think like it's a major advantage.
All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for us here, guys. So thank you so much, arigato kamsahamnida, for your answers. And we're going to get ready to move on because we have another fun segment getting ready to take off. This one is going to be a 1v1 challenge that we've called 1v1 Me, Bro. So it's going to be done live here by players in the studio. And this will see players from different teams pitting against each other in a gauntlet-style battle to see who comes out on top. But before we do that, because already this is a fairly unique experience. We have a press conference here. But one of the other things that we have that's unique in Pacific is that we have our own damn song. So let's go ahead and give it a listen. If you haven't heard it already, it's by Don Diablo and Minnie from G-Idol. This is Making Waves.
Undefeated is my fractured heart. Nothing left to lose. See me coming through. I'm fighting demons on my way, and I know they are the same. Oh, I keep on making waves. I dream of making waves.
So there you go. I'm sure we had plenty of cat jams in the chat, but eat your hearts out, EMEA and NA. You don't have that, but we do. Anyway, we're going to move on to our next segment, our last little bit that we have here. And of course, it's going to be the biggest one of them all. This is our 1v1 Me Bro tournament getting ready to start right now. We'll go into a little bit more detail here to explain it. This is a 10-player single elimination 1v1 tournament that will put players through a gauntlet of rounds with some unconventional rules, let's just say. Last man standing will be crowned the 1v1 Me Bro champion at the end of it all. As you can see here, it's going to be a long road the further up you are. This is done in order, basically, of, what day you're going to be playing on. So to start things off, we will have Foxy9 from DRX versus Reda from Detonation Focus Me in round 1. The winner of each round will progress to play a new challenger each step of the way. After this one, you've got Meteor, then you've got Aaron, Forsaken, EJ, Carpe, Garnets, Dubstep, and then finally 10, all the way through the end. So, if you want to be a winner here, if you're Reda or if you're Foxy9, obviously you got to win all 9 rounds of action. If you're 10, you might just be able to show up and clinch it right at the very end. That's just the way that it goes. Now, earlier I did mention that we have some unconventional rules, and I think that 1v1 tournaments in and of themselves in Valorant already a little bit unique, but we've gone ahead and made it a little bit even more unique. Starting things off here, we're going to have our first round called Close Combat. Now, what this means is that we are going to be seeing both of these players playing Jet. They're only allowed to use their knives, and they are only allowed to use their mobility skills. Blade Storm, as well as the Cloudburst, are off the table, but Tailwind and Updraft, they have them, and they also have an infinite quantity of them. They'll be playing within the Haven C site. They cannot leave those confines, otherwise they will be disqualified. And of course, it is a best of 3. So first one to find 2 kills will be the player moving on, and they are ready to go. So I'll go ahead and give them a quick countdown. We'll jump into the game and see who's going to be able to come out on top. Foxy9 versus Reda here for the first round. 3, 2, 1, and go! Well, from the outset, going to be pushing forward. This should be Foxy9 here in the red, Reda in the green. The updraft's coming through. Closes the gap, gets right up against him. I think I might have had it backward. I believe Foxy9 is actually in the green here. Dash away. And so far, no one taking any damage. Just trying to really limit test here. That last right click not quite connecting, but good bit of damage coming across here. On to Foxy. Reda now looking to finish the job. Losing track of him just a little bit there for a moment. Finally does spot him yet again. Dashes forward. Goes right underneath of him. So far, Foxy still has not been able to land a shot. Needs to get a bit of damage across or really rely on getting that headshot. As you can see, it's really going to be about limit testing, trying to get as close as you possibly can. Go ahead and land that right click before dashing out as quickly as you possibly can. So it's just going to be a lot of hold W, hold S for the dash. Hold W, hold S for the dash. Oh, going for the 360 there for a brief little moment, but in the end, Foxy will be able to go ahead and take him down. So that's first blood going his way. We'll get things reset and they will go again, but now Foxy just needs one more round win to be able to advance forward into the next one and take on Meteor. Reda now needs to pull off this reverse sweep if he wants to shut down the young prodigy. We'll have to just wait and see if he's going to be able to do it. So we've got our admins on stage taking care of things to get them back into position, get them ready to go. And as soon as they are, I'll give the countdown. We will have battle commence, and then we will be able to see if this is going to go the distance and go all the way to a third round. They're ready to go, so let's go ahead and count it down. 3, 2, 1, go! Once more, starting with that updraft over top of the box. Chipping away at him. Just trying to work his way through, I should say. Looking for the tag, and looks like he's found it. So already putting some good damage down once again. And oh, goes ahead and cleans it right up. So we will be tied up, in fact, going the distance to a third. So once again, we'll get the reset coming through. And I'll tell you what, we have done some practice rounds of this one. And Foxy9's been able to make some decent runs during rehearsal. But this is probably the closest he's been to going down, especially in the first round. So this would definitely be a new experience if it does occur. So I'm excited to see if it's going to happen. It'd be a big win here for the side of Reda. So we'll see what happens as the admins make their way off the stage, and we should be ready to get into this final round to see who's going to be advancing forward to play against Meteor in the next one. They are ready to go, so let's go ahead and start this and see who's going to walk away victorious. 3, 2, 1, go. Once more we go, and oh boy, just landing right on top of each other. Foxy9 takes advantage of that, does get some early damage across. Waiting to see if you can find an opening. Get on top of him and finish the job. Landing close enough, but there's the headshot at the very end. And Foxy will be able to take it. Always getting pushed to the limits, but he's able to get the victory there in the end. So a good effort here from the side of Rada. So come ahead and join me over here for a quick little interview. Of course, we have the translator standing by. I just want to know, obviously, a close game. Unfortunately, couldn't win. But was it fun?
このミニゲームは難しかったんですが、とても楽しかったです。フォクシー9選手が上手でした。次の試合も頑張ってほしいです。감사합니다.
Very well done. Great pronunciation there.
This game was quite difficult, but I had a lot of fun. He played very well. Good luck.
Thank you so much. Arigato. You can go ahead and step off the side of the stage, and then we'll get ready to go into our next round. But first, we'll go ahead and take a look at the standings, just to remind you guys who is up ahead here now for Foxy 9 as he gets ready to go in. We have a new challenger making their way over to the stage, and that, of course, is going to be Gen G's Meteor. So a very big showdown here of Jet v Jet. Overall, but that's not the mode that we're going to be playing anymore. Like I said, we've got some unconventional rule sets, so they're not going to be playing the knives only Jet. In fact, they will be shifting over to our next one. For this one, we're going to be testing the players' reaction, the reaction time, as well as their aim. And if you like Western films, if you like a good old showdown at sunset, I think you'll like this one, because this is called Gunslinger. They're going to be playing Gecko, but that's not really of any note, because there's no util that's able to be used in this one. It's just a sheriff in their hands. The players are going to be lined up. They're going to have their knives out over on Haven A long, and as I give the countdown, they will draw, and the first player to go ahead and get the kill is the one that wins the round. Yet again, this is going to be a best of 3 format. So let's go ahead and jump straight into it so you guys can see it in action. Players on my cue, 3, 2, 1, go. Shots coming across, and whoo, I mean, Foxy turning around and saying, all right. Interesting. So first blood does end up coming across rather quickly. So some nice shots being found. So we'll have to just go ahead and get that reset and get back into it and see if we can go ahead and tie things up or if it's going to be a clean 2-0 win. And I will say, during the rehearsals, pretty much every game that we did ended up going the maximum distance. So we could be here for a little while, but that's fine because the third game mode in particular, I think, is going to be extra fun. But for now, we'll go ahead and see the second round here of Gunslinger. 3, 2, 1, go.
How are you doing, guys? And me.
Some clean shots coming up. Nice little thumbs up there from Meteor. But yeah, brutal stuff here. As we'll just have to go ahead and get things slotted around. But Foxy 9, unfortunately, we saw you do really well in the rehearsal. You were able to make really deep runs. You go out here against Meteor. You have anything to say? Have you been having fun at this event?
리허설에서 좀 많이 오래 연습을 오래 갔는데 이번엔 좀 일찍 떨어졌는데 미티어 선수에게 할 말 있으신가요?
일단 제가 너무 긴장했고요. 이제 태호 형도 이제 잘해가지고 잘 싸가지고 이제 졌다 생각하고 리허설 때는 뭐 다들 숙소나 이제 집 빨리 가고 싶은 마음으로 급하게 그냥 저한테 졌다 생각하고 더 노력하고 이제 긴장 안 하겠습니다. 다음에 또 이런 기회가 있다면 감사합니다.
Well, to begin, I was quite nervous, and I have to say, Meteor is also very good. During rehearsals, everyone would just play kind of like lighthearted. We just wanted to like finish it, wrap it all up, and I'll do much better next time around.
All right. Well, we at least got our first experience of Foxy 9 playing, on a stage here as a part of the Pacific League, but I'm sure we'll be seeing plenty more of that moving forward. Again, we'll take a look at the standings here in just a brief moment to see where we lie, as we do have Meteor moving forward against Aaron, who is going to be the next challenger. So Aaron representing global esports here on the stage to see whether or not he is going to be able to take down the young prodigy in Meteor, as we do get ready to move into a different game mode once more. This one's going to be a bit more of a classic deathmatch style, but with abilities. All abilities, including the ultimates, are going to be available. It's going to be a mirror matchup. We're calling it Top Combatant. As you can see, there is a pool of 6 different agents that can be played. Both players will be playing the same agent. Both of them will be given the same weapon. So a lot of times it's going to come down to how they utilize the util, utilize the ultimates to be able to get the advantage. Additionally, they're going to be stuck within the confines of mid on Haven. If they go out of mid, if they go out of B, and they can also play in B, but if they leave those confines, we're just going to DQ them real quick. This is a best of 5. Let's go ahead and start the first round. 3, 2, 1, go. As you can see, it's going to be Neons. So can see those overdrives coming in. Relay bolts also available on either side. First ult is going to get popped. As the fast lane comes across, zapping him down, and down to 7 HP, but still managing to find the kill. So nice clean pickup here. Let's see. Aaron, you going to be able to close this out? All right, he says yes. He says yes. So, yeah, falling asleep. Wonderful. Well, you better wake up because you lose the next one, you're going to be at match point. You might be going home after that one. So we'll see what agent they're going to be playing going into the next one. But for now, you're looking good with that start. But again, this is going to be rotating as we go through potentially all 5 games. We'll be seeing them play on mirrored matchups of different agents. We'll see what they end up landing on if they get thrown a curveball here by the admins. And we'll go ahead and get ready to jump into it. I'll go ahead and count this down. I didn't even mean to make the curveball pun, but here we are with the Phoenix. 3, 2, 1, and go. From the outset, rushing forward. Into the red, throws out the first curveball. Another one coming out, neither getting caught by it, but even with the blind going across. Meteor coming up with that kill. I mean, what's going on here, Aaron? You woken up yet or not? All right. Well, that is now going to be Meteor finding himself at match point, being able to take this down and would help him advance forward. So Aaron is going to have to pull off a reverse sweep, something that, aside from game change, still hasn't happened in the VCT. So we'll see if he can do it here. I don't think it quite gets the same credit or carries the same prestige, but we'll still give it to him if he can pull it off. So we'll see what he's going to be playing next and whether or not it's going to be comfortable enough to take down Meteor, who right now is firing on all cylinders. So we should be jumping into that one in just a brief little moment here and see if this is just going to be a clean sweep or if we get a little bit of an extended play from both of these guys. So the game is ready. Let's go ahead and jump into this one, see if Meteor closes it out. 3, 2, 1, go! And this time it is going to be Gecko. So we have the whole slew of util that is available. Obviously, the biggest thing to be concerned about is going to be that Thrash. Both players are going to be rocking Judges. And as you can see, Thrash is going to be coming out, Wingman from the opposite side, but it's quickly dealt with there from the side of Aaron. Now has his own Thrash available. Trying to play around the corners as much as humanly possible. Does not get that connection. Damage coming across, but he will be able to close it out. All right, so he's staying alive. Not out yet. We continue to go deeper into this and continue to chip away at the agents that we do have available for this game mode. And now let's see. We've gone through pistols. We've gone through SMGs. We've got the shotguns. So something tells me that it's time to go ahead and get some rifles in their hands. We'll see who's going to be able to click some heads here the best, because I think it's going to be Vandal. I don't remember quite who they're playing, but we'll go ahead and get into that in just a brief moment. We'll find out together and see who's going to be able to come out on top. The players are ready, so we'll go ahead and get ready to jump into this one. It's going to be KO with the Vandals in hand. 3, 2, 1, go. Now, similar to the Phoenix, obviously the flashes are available. Getting a nade kill, I think, in this game would be absolutely amazing and somewhat puzzling. But already the null command is out. Aaron's going to be caught by that one. Also catches a knife, just wants to push forward. He gets a good amount of damage down. Meteor really getting chunked out. The flash now going to be expiring. Another one going to be lobbed up over the top. Aaron cuts over the side, doesn't get caught by it. Now we'll go ahead and pop his own null command. Flash out on the corner, doesn't go deep enough, but the second one does hit. However, he doesn't swing the corner. He does not find that kill. Ooh, the fragment in his hand! And he gets util baited. The timing is just not there, and Meteor will be able to go ahead and take him down. So Aaron, unfortunately, is going to have to exit the stage. But a valiant effort. It was looking good for a little while there, but couldn't quite make it happen. But yeah. You good, bud? You all right? So are you good? Wait, am I have I done the wrong math? Are you not eliminated now? Are you not eliminated now? Is it 2-2? Which one did you just win that one? I thought he lost. Oh, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Is it 2-2? Oh, okay, that's me making a mistake. Okay, good. I just assumed. I'm getting told a Meteor won in my head. Well, Meteor's saying it's 2-2. It's just saying this. I'm hearing the Meteor won. So I'm not really sure where to go on this one, to be perfectly honest. The players are saying, they're both saying 2-2, so I guess we're playing another one. All right, we're just going to play it out and see what the hell happens. I don't know. Either way, I'm loving it, so let's see if he can, in fact, pull it off. We'll get ready to go into the next game and see what does occur. So, all right, the players are correct. We're mistaken. Let's figure out what happens. Are you guys ready to go? Not quite yet? All right, we're still working on it, and then we'll be able to get into this one. So apologies for the delay, ladies and gentlemen. But it looks like we should now just about be ready to go. So, okay, let's actually go into it and see who wins. 3, 2, 1, go. As you can see, this time it's going to be the Yoru coming out. I believe that they should have some marshals in their hands. Yes, they do. So already the fake going across. Not going to get baited by that one, but into the dimensional drift goes Aaron. And oh, he just pops out and dies. What was that? That's my question. What was that?
You threw me off my game a bit. You know, I had the momentum going, and you know, I was gonna win, and then you just assumed I lost, and you know, we'll do better. I'll talk to the coaches. We'll review with the management, but you know.
Okay, even though we were mistaken on the production side, we were at least inevitably correct, right?
GE fighting.
GE fighting. A good way to go ahead and make his exit. Apologies, Aaron, but a good showing. Hopefully it's a little bit cleaner when you actually take the stage. Anyway, I love you, buddy. Anyway, we'll go ahead and take a look at the updated standings now as Meteor continues to go ahead and build up a nice little win streak for himself here. So 2 victories under his belt now, looking for a third, but this could potentially be the toughest one that he's had so far, as we will have Forsaken taking his way to the stage. And of course, since we're back into, we're now into round 4, that means that we're going to be in another round of close combat. So we will have them back over onto the Jets, and these are 2 people who are incredibly comfortable when it comes down to playing Jet. So I'm looking for some fantastic and absolutely stellar performances as far as the mobility is concerned. Whoever is going to be like this, I really don't know, but I think that this is going to be a damn exciting one to watch. So let's go ahead and jump straight into it. On my mark, 3, 2, 1, go. On the outset, oh, the dash forward. Damage does actually come across, and whoo, this is a swift one. Instantly taken down. Very nicely done to go ahead and find that initial kill and start things off with pretty explosive action, I feel. So we'll go ahead and get this reset and see if this can continue to go the distance, continue to find these game 3s, these game 5s. And then we'll just go on our merry way. Appreciate this. I don't know when I'm like standing up here. I'm waiting for this reset to come in. I feel like I'm either going to be revealing like a new iPhone, or I'm in a comedy club and I'm bombing out of my mind. Not sure which way to feel about it. But anyway, the players are ready, so I'll stop my babbling and we'll go back into it. 3, 2, 1, and go. Over here on the attacking side in the red. Forsaken. Dashing over to the side, keeping himself as safe as humanly possible. Damage not connecting just yet, and there's a big right-click exchange, however, on both sides. 178, 5 HP, and cleanup kill does end up coming through there in the end. And there you have it. Meteor looking strong, continues to find his victories, but unfortunately that does mean that we are going to be saying goodbye to Forsaken here in the 1v1 tournament. But, you know, I mean, what do you even say about that? Like, the movement right there from Meteor looking damn clean, but I think that we can expect to see some strong performances from you on Jet this season, right? Like, once you have the full kit unlocked, not just tailwinds and knives. So you think we're going to be seeing a hell of a lot of that?
I mean, yeah, hopefully, yeah. But for today, I think I wasn't warm up enough. Maybe that's why. I mean, yeah, I'll do better next time.
All right, perfect. That's what we want to hear. Well, thank you so much for being a part of this one. We'll go ahead and take a look at the standings once more to see, you know, who Meteor's next opponent is going to be. Thank you for saying. Go ahead and take your seat back over there, rest up, enjoy the rest of the broadcast. So coming up next, it's going to be EJ, representative here from RRQ, taking on Meteor. And I think that this is, you know, a little bit of a David and Goliath story, not to throw shade or anything like that, but Meteor has shown himself quite a bit on the international stage as well as in the LCQs of past. So he's going to be looking to really shut this one down. EJ coming in as a newer player, this would be a really big, I think, moment for him to just be able to go ahead and take him out. Because once again, we're going to be moving into the gunslinger round, so sheriffs are going to be back in hands. It's going to be that best of 3. Players just sat staring at each other, knives, waiting for the countdown, and as it comes through, we'll have to just see who is going to be a little bit faster, a little bit more accurate with their aim to be able to get these kills. So we'll go ahead and start it off. 3, 2, 1, go. Looking for the lineup, and The kill does come across, and already fresh blood. So I like these because they're really snappy. They're really quick. Jet 1, you get a little bit too floaty, too many dashes coming across. It does slow things down a little bit. But with the Gunslinger, it's all about speed and precision. So we can just go ahead and bang right through this and see who is going to be the victors. So already a first kill coming through. Let's see if it's going to be a 2-0 closeout or if we will be able to continue to go the distance with a 2-1 score. Perhaps at the end, perhaps with EJ being able to bounce back and be able to close this one out. So time will tell. As we get ready to jump back into this one, players should be getting readied up here as the admins exit the stage, and then we should be able to get underway, and we're going to do that right now. So I'll go ahead and give the cue. Players, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, and that will tie it up at 1-1. So Meteor now finding the second kill, brings it all the way to 3, and this one's for all the marbles. EJ, will he be able to take down Meteor, or will Meteor continue on his reign of terror, which I think this would give him, 4 consecutive wins in a row? So we'll have to just wait and see what's going to happen here, but one last reset for them, and after this round, one of the players is going to be saying goodbye, and one of them will be moving forward. Don't remember who the next opponent is either, so we'll take a look at the standings after that, but the players are ready, so let's go ahead and get into the last round of this game. 3, 2, 1, go. And as the headshot comes across, that is going to be Meteor continuing onward. Unfortunately, EJ will have to say goodbye, but it's a damn good effort, really good start, and great opening round. But I mean, more of a general question rather than about this tournament here in particular. How have you been enjoying Korea so far? Is it your first time here, and if so, what do you think of it?
It's good because it's Korea.
It's good because it's Korea. That should be their tourism slogan. They get people to come here. It's good because it's Korea. We'll go ahead and we'll put you on a billboard.
감사합니다.
감사합니다. There you go. That's that practice coming to fruition. Well, thank you, EJ. We'll go ahead and take a look now at the standings once again and see who's coming up next, because we do have, of course, another challenger, as Meteor is the one running the gauntlet at the moment. And as you can see, it's going to be Carpe from T1. So Carpe, I mean, as far as his legacy goes in FPS, somebody very much known for his accuracy. We saw it on display at Sao Paulo for the lock-in event as well. And now he's going to be going head-to-head here against a Meteor. See if he's going to be able to stop this streak in its tracks and start one of his own. So we'll find out. This is, again, going to be the top combatant, so we will have those mirrored agents as well as weapons. They're going to be starting on the Neon once more. 3, 2, 1, go.
I got spiked.
From the outset, Carpe sprinting forward on that attacking side. He's going over to mid. The first relay bolt's going to start flying. He's got the overdrive out, and he is going to be able to find that kill rather quickly. So nice start there in this best of 5 as Carpe takes him down. And well, we'll see what's going to happen, because I think from here we're just going to be cycling through the agents that we already saw before. So this should be Phoenix coming up next, and then into, KO, Your, etc., etc. So we'll have to just wait and see, if Meteor is going to be able to bounce back from this one. Did look strong in this first one, but so far stumbling just a little bit. The players are ready. We'll go ahead and get into the second round. It is going to be the Phoenix, and this also should be them on the Spectre. So 3, 2, 1, go. Have them rushing forward once more. Carpe making his way through. He's going to pop this, run it back pretty early on. Now going to be matched by Meteor on the opposite side. Curveball at the ready. Does end up getting full flashed, and it's going to be the burn down. Throws out that molly, thinking perhaps he was going to be around the corner. Rushes up just to try to make the most out of that, the rest of that ult. Molly used now from the side of Carpe. He's trying to zone him back. Flame wall comes up. Does he want to swing out of this? Likely it's going to be the curveball out of it. And manages to find him and takes him down. A nice little start here as the Phoenix play looking damn clean. I like the way that he manipulated that wall to go ahead and block off the cubbing. Kind of gives some obscurity as far as which way he was going to be playing that one out. So a very solid performance thus far. Now we'll get ready to go into the next one. This is going to be the Gecko, actually, with Judge. There we go. My memory serves me well in this instance. So we'll get to see them try to get into some close quarters combat and utilize this new kit as well. So let's go ahead and start it up. 3, 2, 1, go. Pushing forward once more. Big question is, are we going to see Thresh actually utilized? We've seen it popped. We have not seen it really get any connection so far. As that is going to be the Dizzy. Getting a connection there. Carpe has to pull back. Granted, playing against a judge, so not going to be the worst thing, getting blinded at that distance. See the Thrash goes for the jump in. Will not find that stun, however. They're just going to go ahead and just start dueling at long range. Mosh Pit does come out, nearly gets the pop, but doesn't find the damage, and as he tries to push up and close the gap, that will be Meteor able to answer back and find himself a first round victory. So we're not done yet. It's not going to be a clean sweep. Like I said, these always go the distance. We always have these go to 5. So unsurprising, but we'll get them reset, loaded back in with KO and Vandals in hand to really just put a test to, you know, their accuracy with those rifles. So we'll see who's going to be able to come out on top. But for now, Carpe still with the upper hand, but you lose one more, might start breathing a little bit more uneasily as you get ready to go into the 5th. The players are ready, so we'll go ahead and jump into it. 3, 2, 1, go. Rushing forward, much like the Phoenix, the Flash is going to be quite important here. Of course, setting yourself up for a kill. And, well, I mean, just like that, swing on the corner and just took his head off. So here we go, going into a 5th and final game. So very impressive stuff there from the side of Meteor. Just swinging out. Not even sure if Carpe was flashed. Either way, it was just a good shot. So now we go into 5. That means that we are going to have the Yoru with the Marshals in their hands. Hopefully these players don't do anything too wild. We'll find out as they are prepared. So let's go ahead and jump into it for the final time. See who's going to be moving forward. 3, 2, 1, and go. All right, moving it up. Mask already going to be going on. Carpe heads in for the dimensional drift. Spots him out, throws a flash from behind him. I think he might have thought that was fake, and oh boy, as he swings on the corner, will end up getting taken down. So it looks a little bit scary there for Meteor, but he manages to pull off the reverse sweep in the end. So that means that we'll get to hear from Carpe here a little bit, but fortunately it also means that he will not be able to become our 1v1 MeBro champion here today. So Meteor's reign of terror, his warpath will continue. And I'll get Carpe to join me here for a brief little interview once he can get the in-ear in his ear. Continue? Okay. So, I mean, you've spent a good amount of time as of late over in North America. I just want to know, how does it feel being back in Korea yet again?
미국에서 오랫동안 시간을 지냈는데 오랜만에 한국에 오니까 어떤가요?
일단 미국에서 연습하고 적응 잘해서 이제 아시아에 와가지고 이제 아시아에서 연습하고 있는데 되게 좋은 것 같아요. 다시 돌아와가지고.
It took some time getting used to it, but it's great being back in Asia, and then I'm glad to be back and we're practicing very well.
All right, well, wonderful to see and wonderful to hear from you and see you, of course, as always, Carpe. So have a good one. You can go ahead and take your seat, watch the rest of the tournament, and then we'll get ready to move forward. But first, let's go ahead once again. We'll look at the standings and see who Meteor is going to be playing up against next. He's got 3 more opponents if he wants to go ahead and take this one. But next up is going to be Garnets as we get ready to move back into our close quarters, close combat round here. So they will be moving over onto the Jets, putting their knives in their hands and looking to stab each other in the face, frankly. So we'll see who's going to be able to get that done. Meteor obviously showing himself. Garnets has looked